take as much time, no one can stop me. I'll be definitely by 12, and if it's 12 and I'm still talking, can you guys nudge me? That's all I ask. Well, thank you guys for coming today. My name is Javiers. For those who don't know me, there is a portrait I took to show the best side of me. I consider myself a YouTube realtor. So YouTube has been around for a lot of years now, but I haven't really seen anyone do what I'm doing on the level of YouTube. So just to give you guys some quick stats about YouTube and what I've been able to accomplish is on YouTube, as of right now, I have 620,000 views, about 4.1 million minutes watched of my videos, 9,700 subscribers, which as of right now, we'll just say 10,000. Got it? Everyone's good with that? Okay. And then I've only been able to do that with about a year and a half worth of videos. So about 66 total videos made, but only 40 of them are live, because as I'll teach you guys today, I'm a big believer of making the video and completing it. If you don't like it, just getting rid of it. So today we're going to talk about what my strategies are. I'm going to kind of have to condense usually I pack this class in about an hour, 45 minutes. So I'm going to condense it, be very quick with it. But if you guys do have a question, like I said, wait till the end. But I'm going to try to be as quick and efficient as possible with it. So here's just a quick tidbit about this. Over 1.9 billion logged in users visit YouTube each month. And every day people watch over 1 billion hours of video and generate billions of views. This is daily. We're in not the millions, we're in the billions. So first and foremost, who in here can tell me what you think YouTube is and how it can help your business? Yes, ma'am.
Educational channel.
Educational, yep, that's who has any kids that are above the age of 10 here? Are they religiously on their phones and are they watching YouTube? Yes. Mm-hmm. So I'm what's called those millennials that people like to make fun of, and I have to say my age is probably the beginning of it. But if you don't believe the younger people are doing it, then you're just not here. So YouTube, TV is no longer going to be relevant in 10 to 20 years, and I honestly do believe that. People that are younger than me, they don't even watch TV. I personally don't even watch TV. My wife doesn't. Our friends don't. We're all on YouTube. And if you don't know what YouTube is, this class is not to teach you about YouTube. So first and foremost, I will definitely recommend you get on the site, start looking at some videos, start with some sites and whatnot. And if you have any general questions about YouTube, you can definitely message me. But today's class is for anybody who's already knows what YouTube is. Maybe you're making some videos already, you're not getting enough traction, views, or subscribers, or you're looking to explore a different avenue of business. So speaking of business, I do want to kind of briefly discuss my quick history, because I know I look like an old man, but I'm not. Let me tell you. That skinny little boy, I got my real estate license when I was 19 years old in 2013. It was my first year. I didn't really have a job beforehand. It was terrible. Jumped from team to team. Kind of went solo a little bit. Did 5 to 10 transactions. Wasn't great. Year 2 and 3, I joined a big team, big out of the West Valley, the Korean Wind team. Really great experience I had there. 30 to 50 transactions I was able to do, and so it kind of accelerated my growth a little bit. Year 3.5, I got fired from that team. The reason is that if you're going to join a team, guys, you have to have a team mindset, right? You can't go there looking out for yourself. So I thought that was going to get a laugh, but it didn't. So I'll probably take that off the next.
Some of us have been on teams before.
Yeah,
that's not funny.
I know, right? So I'm right on that one. Lesson learned. Year 3, I was kind of an experienced solo agent at that point. I was confident in my skills, but I'm sure as many of you guys understand, there's being able to close an escrow and being able to generate business. So that's the part I needed to learn. I was able to do 15 transactions that year, so once again, not a high caliber agent, but I was getting there. Year 4, at this point, I was what I consider a seasoned solo agent, and this was a great year for me because I made my first 6-figure income. However, it came at a cost. So I was good at negotiating escrows, creating the business and all that good stuff, but open houses were the lifeline of my business. And I know maybe some of you guys are new or not, but they're great, but when it's your only source of business, it can get draining. My son, that's not my son, that's my daughter. My son, he was 2 to 3 years old at the time, and I missed a lot of important events. I wasn't there during the weekends, he pooped for the first time, I wasn't in there, and one of my main motivations in life is to be a great father who's present, and I wasn't living up to that. On top of that, that little girl there you see in my arms was born in July of 2017. And as many millennial fathers do, I took 3 months off, and I was there with my wife if they ever need. Well, the end of the year was terrible because I didn't do open houses. And if it's lifeline, well, guess what? I didn't really do much transactions. So I was miserable. I made my first 6-figure income, but I was miserable because I was at the point where I needed to go and hustle my butt at doing open houses, place signs, or else, I didn't have any income. So at this time, I did 22 transactions. I was one overworked dad, but I wanted to change. So what did I do? Well, I've always wanted to do YouTube. YouTube has been a big part of my life because I watch it all the time. And at this point, I've had 3 channels of YouTube, and I failed in each one of them. My first one was a comedy, skits, and movie reviews. It was horrible. I was a teenager. Let's not talk about that. The second one was the real estate show, where I would sit down with a desk in front of me, and I'd just say, hey, this is Javier. Let's talk about real estate, down payment assistance. Let's talk about first-time home buyers. Let's talk about conventional. And I did like 10 or 20 videos of the topic, maybe 10, 20 views each. Didn't do well. Third one was, you know what, I was watching a lot of Gary Vee. I'm gonna say, hey, let's document my journey. So I started documenting, vlogging myself, going to carnivals, making showing requests, doing all that fancy stuff. And that didn't work itself out either. Once again, 5 to 10 views. So at this point, I knew I wanted to do YouTube. I have learned how to edit. I have learned how to do all that fun stuff. But it wasn't working out for me until I was on Facebook. It wasn't anybody in here, so I can say this. There was a realtor. At that time, the ads were really popular. You guys remember those ads, like free list of houses, all that stuff? There was a really nice house, and it said, buy this house for $1,000 monthly payment with 0 down. Well, clearly that's a Truth in Lending Act violation. And secondly, what was more infuriating is it was working. There was 50, 100 comments. I'm interested, give me a call. So I was aggravated because this guy's, who knows if they're actually producing business or not, but I was not happy about it. I sat down in front of my camera, and instead of trying to make videos with some kind of, motive, I just made a video at the camera talking as if it was my client. This is how the real cost of buying a house. This is what you should look out for. And I just gave them everything. I didn't do the bait and switch thing where you give them half and then if they want the rest, give you a call. Just gave them 100% value. That video, I made another one, and it started gaining traction. By 2019, or 2019, or it was 2018 at that point, I was starting to get some traction. So year 5 is the year I transitioned to what's called, being a YouTube realtor. So I went all in. I started getting views. My subscribers went from 1 to maybe 5 or 10. My views were getting also higher, and I was being pretty happy. By June, I hit 1,000 subscribers, and I became a YouTube partner, which means YouTube pays me for ad revenue. So if I get paid a monthly fee from YouTube, right now it's about $700 a month, but when I started it was about $300, $400 a month. Little Chipotle money, right? By March of that year, I was doing mostly referrals and open houses. In March, I got my first call from somebody saying, Javier, my name's Anaí, I've been watching your videos, I love it. Me and my husband want to buy a house in Buckeye, can you help us? And I was over the moon. I was like, great, yeah, let's go. Showed him a house. Sold them. I said, well, that's not happening again. So by April, May, instead of, I was doing 2 to 3 transactions a month, now there's one of the transactions for YouTube. And I said, great, I'm going to ride this as long as I can because it's not going to last. Well, by later that year, all of my transactions were YouTube. Next thing I know, that year I was able to do 24. Not a huge bump from 21 to 24. However, I did 0 open houses. I was home. If I was out, it's because I was showing houses. It wasn't because I was panhandling for business. I was growing on my terms. And now we are where we are right now. I'm in year 6. I receive 1 to 3 appointment requests from fans every month. Not leads, not people you have to call and beg them to come to your office. Genuine people who watch all my videos and say, I love you, I want to work with you. So I'm at the point right now where I'm at a point where I need to hire people to help me transition. I'm not out there begging for business. I work with people that I want to work and they respect me. And I'm at a point now where I'm very happy. Once again, not talking massive team numbers, but by myself, so far this year, I've done 17 transactions and I'm on track to hit 40. And this is all by myself with the transaction coordinator. So I'm really passionate about this YouTube thing because I know we're all realtors here clearly, and obviously you're always going to try to take my fans, that's all good. No, I'm just kidding. But everyone has different niches, right? My niche is clearly the young millennial home buyers, and that's what works for me. If you have a different niche or you have a different city or area you want to work with, that's great too. But this is great not only for you, but any small businesses you have, anybody you know. You can grow your business tremendously with YouTube. Because I was talking to a person out in the front, she was talking about how she hates that her 17-year-old daughter has YouTube and she's just on YouTube all day. She doesn't get it. She watches James Charles, she watches all these people about makeup, and she should just watch the go whatever, right? That's the future now. TV's going to be irrelevant. Everyone's going to be on YouTube. And if you don't know how it works, you subscribe to somebody. Once you subscribe to someone, you get their videos. And those people can get millions and millions of subscribers, millions and millions of views, and people watching religiously. So who in here uses YouTube regularly? Gotcha. So a lot of you guys have a lot of a lot of downloading to do, right? Because I think for sure, even if you still watch TV and all that stuff, if you want to explore this part of your business, maybe you won't be like me and transition fully, but you can probably get another 5 to 10 deals by making genuine content on there. And this is how to do it. Quick tidbit, on mobile devices alone, YouTube reaches more adults aged 18 to 49 during prime time than any cable network does in an average week, the entire week, in just prime time. If that doesn't show you our YouTube, then I don't know what will. So here's some general, I'm going to get straight to the meat and potatoes because obviously not much time. Here's how to use YouTube correctly. Because some of you guys maybe have tried, or if you haven't, then use this please as your guide. Think of YouTube as an active community. It's an ecosystem. Do not upload videos to share on other platforms. We see it all the time. You have an open house, you have a new listing, you put it on YouTube, you share it on Facebook. You put it on YouTube, you share it to other clients. That's what people do. People go on YouTube every day, every morning, every afternoon, every evening. If someone needs to know how to fix an AC, they're on YouTube. If someone wants to know how to open up an IRA account, they're on YouTube. That's what the new generation is doing. So it's not just somewhere you can upload your video, it's an active community of people that go every single day. Respect it as any other social media platform. Meaning be consistent. If you're going to do a video a week, do a video a week. Don't do a video every 2 months. Respect it. Also, do quality stuff on there, which we'll talk right now. Do not post videos infrequently. Always want to make sure to have a consistent schedule, and when you have a schedule, keep to it. Because once you have subscribers, these are real people that are looking forward to your videos, and if you say you do a video every Wednesday and you don't, then they let you know, which trust me, I've learned that the hard way. I've gotten lots of nasty comments of people not happy with me. So on average, I get about 100 to 200 comments. Majority of them are positive. Funny story though, when I get one negative comment, that just completely ruins my day. I have 199 good comments, but that one is just like, I'm gonna find you, John. Create quality content with the audience in mind. Do not upload specific advertisement content. This is especially for realtors. I just said it right now. We love when we have an open house, we have a new listing, we have something very specific, like a current event. We'll do a video on YouTube and we'll blast it. That's not what YouTube's about. YouTube isn't just somewhere you can share an event that's happening. It needs to be its own video. It needs to be its own life. Because I made a video about the cost of buying a house. That can be watched in 20 years from now or this year. It doesn't matter. People need to be able to watch your video. It needs to be relevant when they watch it. Obviously, if the interest rates have changed and all that, that's fine, but it needs to be relevant to what's happening currently. Show your authentic self. People watch viral videos, but subscribe to people they like. So people, when they make videos, they tend to be different than when they are in real life. This comes with time, and we'll talk about this, but try to be yourself as much as you can. And do not be fake. People can see right through that. If people are watching you for more than 5-10 minutes, they can tell that you're not being yourself and being a little weird, and they'll click away, and then you just lost a subscriber. So here's how to grow a successful YouTube channel. First things first, you got to get views. And this is where most people kind of just stop because they can't get views. Every view on YouTube is earned. On Facebook, I can make a video of my little daughter playing catch. I can put $500. I can put $500 of, let's just say, Facebook ad revenue or the Facebook ad thing, and then I'll get, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of views. Has anyone done that where they made something on Facebook and they get tons of views on it? It's really easy on Facebook to do that. On YouTube, you can't buy views. It has to be earned. And the view isn't just someone that scrolls by and sees 3 seconds of it and that's it. They have to stick in that video, they have to watch a good chunk of it, and they have to engage in YouTube by clicking another video. They have to scroll down, they have to comment, they have to like, they have to be actively engaged. And then YouTube will say, fine, we'll give you a view. Next step is you need subscribers. You can get views, but if you can't get subscribers, then you're not beating your audience. You guys remember viral videos? Who here remembers viral videos? It used to be a big thing back in the day. Now there really isn't no such thing. This is one of my favorite ones. I figured we needed a nice break. You guys remember that? I thought the audio would come out. It didn't, so it's all good. Alright, let's cancel that. Alright. Subscribers. So that viral video, which let me pull it up again because I was not bad. Dramatic check out 48 million views. Can anyone tell me what else pops up here? Raise your hand. Get a prize if you get it right.
Likes and
Nope.
Subscribers.
Who said that?
Subscribers.
Yep. Only 7,000 subscribers. So that's people that actively say, you know what, I'm interested in this person, I'm engaged, and I'm going to watch every video they ever put up, or I'm going to try to at least. This person has 50 million views, but only 7,000 subscribers. So does this person have an audience?
No.
Yeah. They should have a lot bigger audience than that. So videos can get views, aka like the viral videos, but you can make high quality content, but it doesn't mean anything if you don't have an active audience that always wants to go watch your videos. After you have views and subscribers, you need to keep growing. Your quality has to grow with your following. Upgrade your equipment, your location, your sound. As you grow, don't forget why people like you in the first place. So we're going to break down each individual topic. Before I begin though, I think we're a little good on time. Does anyone have any questions as to what we've spoken about so far? Yes.
So what I'm understanding is you're not promoting your properties that you have for sale on your videos.
No, you should never do that.
You should never do that. But what are you promoting? Lifestyle, or what are you promoting?
So we'll talk about that. So it depends on what your thing is. Everyone has a different channel to do. So in my specific thing, which we'll talk about right now, you know what? I'll address your question right now on the slide. That's a great question. Anyone else have anything? Yes.
Yeah, you said in your don'ts you don't upload them to the other platforms. Wouldn't that bring viewers to YouTube?
No, because every platform is its own beast.
Okay.
Instagram doesn't like long videos. They like short videos that are squared with font.
Okay.
Facebook also is very similar. People, it's not like this lead, it's not a funnel where you lead people to your YouTube channel. If they like you enough and they know you make videos, they'll look you up.
Okay.
Or you can have your link for your YouTube channel on your bio or your Facebook, but it doesn't, if you're like sharing, if you put a YouTube link on Facebook on a post, Facebook will not promote that or post that.
Okay.
Have you guys ever tried that? You have to upload a video on Facebook and then promote that, and then Facebook will say, fine, I'll share this with people. Question?
And isn't it better to put the link for the YouTube in the comments?
You can do that.
So,
That's one way of surpassing it.
Yeah, so Facebook doesn't.
But that's more or less not for people to watch the video on your YouTube, so people know you have an active channel. So when they click your channel and they want to subscribe for more. Facebook is very in the moment. If people watch your video, and I've had deals from Facebook because I used to boost my videos there, but it has to be a certain person that happened to see your videos and happen to watch it. YouTube, you're growing an audience, you're growing something that's going to last a long time. Great questions. Start off with the first topic, views. So first things first, if you want to get views on your videos, you have to make intentional content with the audience in mind. And what I mean by that is you start with the question, your searchable question, and then work backward. So I recently got into, let's talk about my videos. So if I'm gonna make a video about, it's not an area I work with, but like first-time home buyers in Scottsdale, I feel like what the majority of people would do is at that point make the video and put the title as first-time home buyers in Scottsdale, right? Most people would do that, right? Well, this is how you should really work it to get the views. You first have to start off with what question would people search to find your video. You start with the audience in mind first. So the likelihood of someone saying first-time home buyer Scottsdale is less likely. Maybe top 3 neighborhoods to pick for a first-time home buyer, that's something people would search. We have to forget we're realtors, or if you're doing videos for something else, forget what you are and put yourself in the shoe of the audience. What are they going to be searching late night? Most of my people that DM me, that say they want to work with me, it's like 2 in the morning, and they DM me, they say, sorry it's late, my husband and I are stressed, want to buy a house, can you help us? Because that's when people watch videos, they're in the middle of the night like stressing out, right? So think about the audience, and then once you have the question that people will be asking, create the content around that. Because you want to make sure to get views, you have to start with a searchable question, not just a question, something that people are going to search, and then build the content off that. You have to make your thumbnails effective and clean. My thing I always tell people, work harder on your thumbnails and on your video, because if no one's going to click, you can have a great quality video, but if your thumbnail isn't there, no one's going to click on it.
Thumbnail, help.
What is it?
Yeah,
Thumbnail is, we should pull up that. This is thumbnail. See all that?
Okay.
Those are thumbnails. Yep, the picture that, before you click on it. So Like, this is top 5 optical illusions, and it has this. They'll probably click on that, even though this will probably not be in the video. People will click on that. Like, okay, yeah, that's what that is. That's what a thumbnail is.
So the picture is the thumbnail or the description?
When you upload a video, you can have the choice of putting what picture comes up for people there. The description and the title is something else, which we'll talk about in a bit. And more importantly, you have to give 100% value. Do not bait and switch. If you're trying to educate people, educate them. Don't give them 20% of it and say, if you want to hear the rest, give me a call.
Okay,
Some examples.
Can you go back?
Go back.
Oh, sorry.
We have that material emailed over?
I don't think so.
No.
No, but you can follow me. I'll give you my information. You can follow me. If you have any questions, I can let you know.
All right.
I can help you out.
They're taping this, aren't they?
Yeah,
They're also taping this. You can watch that.
Yeah.
You can watch me over and over again if you guys want to. Here's some examples of effective ones. And green pool easy fix 2. No views. Doesn't really come across as a clear title. Not very searchable. Thumbnail's kind of good, but not really great. Great video. How to clean a green pool. Great thumbnail. Words on the thumbnail. Very clean. How to clean a green pool. Odds are people will look at that. Green pool easy fix. Less likely. Some people might, but less likely. Another example. I recently bought a Toyota Tacoma. Wastes a lot more gas than I thought it would. And before I did it, I researched it. So I found this guy's video, 0 views. Just called Toyota Tacoma. Clearly was a guy that was just trying to sell, just trying to get me into the dealership. Talked about some good pros and cons of each Tacoma because there's different styles. And there's this guy, 2019 TRD Pro View, good but not the best. Great thumbnail, wording, 215,000 views. Would you click on this guy's video or this guy's video? Bottom.
Okay, so I have a question. Do you have to have approval to use that picture?
No, you can upload any picture you want. And YouTube do. What is an Roth IRA? Young guy I am, and I'm starting to get into that stuff. So I looked up this guy. 7 years ago, he made this video, only has 29 views. Picture's kind of lame. What is Roth IRA? I feel like that is a searchable concept, but it could be more specific. 4 things you need to know before opening an Roth IRA. Great picture of him saying it's 4, but he has 4. That's a goal. Don't ask any questions. Here's the font. Here's that. Great, and it has 257,000 views. That's actually, yeah, I didn't even notice that. Maybe he does have some kind of thing. I don't know. So it kind of shows the example of what's a good one and what's a bad one, and you're not expected to be experts by the end of this class. It comes with practice, and it comes with actually being on YouTube and like paying attention to what you're clicking and what you're not clicking. Yes.
So I know this one's 1 minute long, the other one's 5 minutes long.
We'll talk about length right now. Great question. So why aren't you getting views? There's either 3 things why you're not getting views. There's thumbnails, there's title, there's content. If your content's good, but your title, your thumbnail's not good, you're not going to get views. And I have to speed it up because I'm running a little bit out of time, and I don't want to get into Amanda's suit. So if you have any questions, for sure, you can always ask me. But thumbnails, title, and content. Next thing is subscribers. So people will watch your videos, but they won't subscribe to you unless they don't like you, right? Engage with your audience if you happen to any comments, and then show your personality. You don't have to be charismatic. I'm not the most charismatic guy, but I myself, when people meet me in person and they see me on my videos, I'm the same exact way. Create your own style. There's no way easy to do this except just making videos and getting better at them. It's not that YouTube doesn't work for you, it's what you're doing that's not working for YouTube. So YouTube has an algorithm, and unless you're working in its favor, they don't promote you to other people. If you're not doing the right things, like the 3 things I told you, then you're not going to get promoted. Check this out. This is a screenshot from my video. And everything in this video is intentional. I don't just sit in front of my office and I'm like, oh yeah, let's do a video. The first impressions people usually get from my thing is like, hey, he plays a lot of video games. Lots of things in the back, lots of things here. And I have gotten 1 comment out of thousands that said, hey, if you want to be taken seriously, take those toys out of the back. 1 comment, but every other person that's actually come to my office and helped me is people that like that stuff. It's people that I want to work with. That person that said, if you want to be taken seriously, take those toys out, probably didn't want to work with them in the first place. I'm approachable, no suit and tie. Everyone always dresses up for their videos. I don't think it's a good idea, just be approachable, be yourself. And I'm not a fan of real estate culture, which we'll talk about another day. And it's me, it's not another version of me. Everything is intentional in the shot. So part of your growth would be Your first 10 videos are gonna suck, and that's okay. The more videos you'll do, the better you get. So even if you shoot the video, you don't like it, finish it, edit it, and if you really have a little more tenacity, upload it. You're not gonna get better until you complete a video. You're not gonna find your voice or your style after you've done a dozen. I work with a great lender who I'm kind of coaching through her YouTube channel, and she has, she was making videos at first and they wouldn't get a lot of views, but as she's done more, she's done like 20 or 30 now, she's found her voice, her style, she's starting to get some traction. So there's no way to shortcutting that, you just have to build it. Grow your quality with your channel. You don't have to start with the best camera, you don't have to start with the best audio, just get started, and as you start getting more traction, because like I said, you don't have to have the fancy stuff for those 3 main ones, then you start upgrading that. And you have to upgrade the not so obvious things, like not your camera, like upgrade your lighting, upgrade your audio, upgrade your background, the stuff that aren't so obvious. Once again, I'm so sorry we're going so fast. So any questions you have, you can definitely wait till the end. I kind of thought I had enough time until I didn't. Here's a good picture for your, good place for your pictures here. Equipment. This is what I recommend you guys start off with. Start off with your phone. If you're ready to bump it up a little and get serious, get a handheld camera. They're the ones you carry around with you. Sony Canon G7X Mark II starts at 600, very solid camera. If you really want to go high end on that one, it's 800 plus. If you want to start with the DSLR, which is my camera, somebody has it. DSLR, the ones where you can adjust the lens. If you're going to do that, start with one that has autofocus. SL2 or T6i starts at $500. It is going to be cheaper than these because these already have built-in great lenses. However, your kit lens, which is the lens that comes with it, isn't going to be as great because to invest in a good quality shot, you need to buy an expensive lens. So your lens can be $500 to $2,000. Currently, my current rate is a cheaper DSLR with a $900 lens. Audio. You can start off with your camera audio, but I would recommend you upgrade right away. You can do a basic USB plug-in mic, a Blue Snowball or a Blue Yeti. Basically what I would do is I would plug it into my computer, hit record, have my camera, hit record. They're both recording at the same time. Clap, talk, do the video, done, and edit the audio and the video the same and post editing. Remove the audio from the camera and just have the audio from the Blue Yeti. It's not super affordable, $60, $120, but if camera audio is a 0 and like perfect studio audio is a 10, this will probably get you to a 6 or 7. That's how much of a difference it makes. If you're a little more baller, you start getting more stuff, you can get an audio interface with condenser mic, which is what I use now that I've grown it a little more. If that doesn't work, you can always just, if you have a DSLR, buy one of those lapel mics or Rode mics that connect on the camera and you're good to go. Editing software, iMovie's free, Windows Movie Maker is free, but if you really want to get serious about editing, Final Cut Pro on the Mac is only $300. It used to be $1,000. Suck it up, buy it. PC, you can buy Adobe Premiere Pro, which is $30 to $50 a month, which is people make movies on this. Or you can do something simpler, $99 one-time fee, and you can use Adobe Premiere Elements. Final notes. Can you please turn that down? I'm just kidding. You can take that outside and do that. Can you answer that out loud, please? Final notes, editing. Every video should be your creation. Do everything yourself, and if you need an editor, be involved. People know if it's not you. Like, it has to be your baby, right? It has to be yours from beginning to end. I do every part of it, and I always do it that way. Because if people are going to watch your video and subscribe to you, they need to know that you were involved. I see a lot of realtors going in the room again that they're obviously clearly hiring a company to do their videos for them and following them around the house. They go, hey, what's up? Follow me. Hey, yeah. It's not them, it's someone else doing that. Someone else doing that for them. Someone else leading them. Don't do vlogs unless you're doing something exciting, or you have an audience ready. Like right now I can do a vlog, I might get 500,000 views because I have an audience ready. If you guys don't have it, just wait to do vlogs till later. Which vlogs, for those who don't know, is when you record yourself doing something. One of the last things, don't be vague, don't bait or switch. Once again, I'll say this again, if you're making an education video, then educate. The only action item people should have at the end of the video is how to find you or how to find more of your videos, not if you want the rest of this thing I just taught, call me and I'll tell you everything else. Worst way you can get subscribers. Last but not least, find your style and stick with it. Don't copy me. I'm just kidding. Don't copy any other styles that you have. Once again, you're not going to find your style until you are ready and you start making more videos. So that's all the time. I'm going to give you guys all my contact info, and I'm going to answer questions for about a minute or two before I get kicked out. Please write it down. Follow me on Instagram or Facebook. And please do, because I'm actually looking to grow my referral network here, because I'm instead of doing all the business, I'm going to just refer people. I'm going to meet with them and I'm going to refer them to an agent in Queen Creek or Mesa, and then I'm going to start building a referral network. So if you're interested, please follow me on these platforms or email me. And then probably Instagram is the one I'm more prevalent in, so I would follow me there. Questions before I get kicked out? Yes.
How did you begin and end your videos the same length every
I
time?
do. You don't have to, but I always do because it helps me get in the mode. And more importantly, I don't start off with advertising my phone number and my who to contact me. I do that at the very end. And I don't even put it in my video. I put it like, if you want my information, look below. But I do start it every single time the same way.
And what's the name of your channel?
My name, Javier Vidania.
Okay, nothing else.
Shouldn't be your team name. It shouldn't be anything else. It should just be your name. Unless you have a big and a more established team, then yeah, I get it. Other questions? Yes.
How long are your videos?
So length, that's a thing I didn't address that because I was running out of time. Length of videos is not so important in YouTube. Everything else, everybody wants short and sweet, 3 to 5 minutes. On YouTube, you could go 10, 20, 30 minutes. People will watch you if they like you. Most of my videos are 10 to 20 minutes long. And people watch the whole thing. People will say, well, I don't have time for it. On YouTube, it's different. People are there to be entertained and educated. They'll watch a 40-minute, 20, 10-minute video. Joe Rogan podcast, anybody here watch it? 2-3 hours of video and they watch the whole thing. I do make more.
Is there a way for you to track to see how long people are watching your videos?
Yes, they give you the average view duration once you get over 1,000 subscribers.
You make more off of a longer view? The longer
You get
watch
paid
channel.
per every 10 views. So your CPM depends on who's advertising on your channel. And so I get paid about $7 to $10 per 1,000 views. Yes.
Did you use a certain system to get started in doing video where it's more of a step-by-step, somebody that coached you?
No, I learned everything myself. So I love you guys' questions. I got to get going. Thank you guys so much for your time. If you guys have any questions, you can follow me. We have another wonderful speaker come up and help you guys out. Thank you guys again. All right. Does that?
That's perfect.
So there's this. This is going to automatically go on quicker too. Oh, you don't? Oh, there's a mention right there. What was your question? Who had a question on that? Yes. Did you have a question?
The question is, do you
I don't. I'm going to start doing that.
see for more details and
No, I will start doing that, but no, that's all my thing is natural.
You know what? My personality probably could have
Javier, what's the
I'm
actual
scared to
trigger?
death in the video.
Oh, sorry.
Seriously.
Oh,
I mean,
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
It's one of those things where it's like, kind of just go.
How's it going, guys? First tech summit off to a good start? Awesome. You technically have a 2 more minute break, so no, you don't want to wait. Let's just go. All right, we'll just go. Okay. So how's the video class? Awesome. Who's starting their YouTube channel today? I have no idea. Who's still afraid of doing video? Did Javier give you the nice version or the mean version of why you shouldn't be afraid of video? I'll give you the nice and the mean version. Here's my story about video, then I'll jump into mine. So I was teaching a video class up at the AAR conference I do in Prescott every year. On the way up there, my husband and I are on our way up and we take a selfie in the car, right? I go and post it on Facebook later that day. That night I'm working on my presentation and I'm sitting there scrolling through Facebook and I see that picture. I turn my phone around to my husband and I go, you know the first thing I notice about this photo is? And he goes, what, all the gray in my beard? And I go, no, my crow's feet. So we're our own worst critic. So that's the nice version. The mean version is, if you're worried about how you look on video, you look like that in real life. So get over it. Alright, let's talk about tech for converting leads. So those of you who don't know me, I'm Amanda Sue Briggs. I'm the VP of Education and Technology at Lawyers Title. My whole job, I'm not a marketing rep for Title, my whole job is to dive deep into technology systems and social media and bring you guys all the good stuff. So my job, I know that real estate's getting harder, you've got all these different hats that you're wearing, there's all this different technology that you need to know about. You guys don't have the time to do all this investigation of what are the best tricks for Facebook ads to actually get a return on your investment. Do you guys have the time to do all that research? No, right? What's the best CRM for my business and the way that I operate? You don't have time to do all that research. That's where I come in. So today we're talking about top tech for converting leads. So when we're talking about converting leads, there's three main things that you've got to focus on. Speed to lead being number one. If you wait more than 2 minutes to contact a new lead, your likelihood of converting that lead goes down 400%. If you don't call a new lead in 2 minutes, you're throwing money away. So speed to lead, number one, most important. The next one is consistency. This is where we struggle. Normally, we're pretty good as an industry of getting back to that person who raises their hand and says, hi, I want to go see a home. But when they say, yeah, I really like that home, but we're about 6 months away from buying, I've got to get some credit repair done, and I also need to, get pre-qualified with a lender. We're not so great about being consistent with those people. So we're going to talk about tech today that's going to help you with that consistency and make your jobs easier. And then the last thing, probably should be the first thing, but I put it the last on the list, is value. We've got to provide value. So we're going to talk a little bit about not only how to provide value, what you can send them, what information to provide to these leads, but also how you can automate some of that. So it's less of your time following up with these people that may never buy a home from you, and you can really focus on those people who are ready to buy right now. So first, let's talk about that speed to lead. Here's a few tech tools that would help with helping you get back to leads faster. This is a company called Call Action. Their website's callaction.co, so not callaction.com, callaction.co. What they do is they automate the process of inbound calls and replying to those people. How many of you answer your phone 100% of the time?
Pretty close.
Pretty close. Awesome. What percentage of realtors do you think answer their phone 100% of the time?
1%.
Yeah, my experience too, right? Whenever you're trying to schedule a showing, whenever you've got something going on in the contract, it seems like nobody answers their phone. So what Call Action was made to do is to help with that. Because when you're sitting across the table at a listing appointment and a lead calls, you're not picking up the phone. When you're out walking through a property with your buyer and a lead calls, you're probably not picking up the phone. So there's a lot of instances, you have leads coming in all hours of the day, there's a lot of instances where you just can't pick up the phone. So whether it's an online lead, whether it's just somebody who's calling you that was referred to you, whether it was somebody you met at an open house, or even if it was a sign call, Call Action works with all types of those leads. What they do is they give you these different phone numbers that you can use for tracking. So on your signs, you might have a different phone number than what you put on your website or what you put on your business card. What that allows you to do is be able to go in and track how many sign calls did I have. Anybody who's been in the business a while, they like to say, I hear it all the time of, oh, I've just been in the business for a long time, so I get referrals. And I say, okay, where do you get them from? And they say, I don't know, my phone just rings. Well, now you can find out where those are coming from. So when your phone just rings and you don't know, okay, where did this client come from? Where did this lead come from? That's what Call Action helps with. The other thing that it helps with in addition to your tracking is it can automate all of the follow-up if you miss the call. So there's interesting statistics. There's kind of a little line right here about if you miss an inbound call, consumers don't leave voicemails, they call your competition. That's absolutely true, right? Who's shown a home to a buyer because their agent was out of town and you didn't know it till you got there, right? That convenience, that instant response, that's what consumers are demanding from us. I don't work 24/7, 365. Do you guys work 24/7, 365? Feels like it sometimes, I'm sure. But what Call Action will do is if I miss a phone call, it immediately knows that that was a call from a sign call. That was a sign call from my listing on Central Avenue. And it can automatically reply to them via text and says, oh, I'm so sorry. And then based on what time of day, it'll say, I'm out with buyers, or I'm at a kid's function, or I'm in another appointment, or whatever. So it'll actually reply to them and say, sorry, I'm out with buyers right now. Sorry I missed your call. Are you inquiring about that listing on Central Avenue? Here's all the details. And can automatically send that text and follow up. Then it can automatically text them again a few minutes later and say something like, do you want to schedule a time to go see it? Let me know what works best for you, Tuesday or Thursday. All of those responses and all of that follow-up can be automated. So not only do you know where your inbound calls are coming from, but you can also automate that whenever you miss a call, they're getting an immediate response from you. Even if you're sleeping, even if you're at the gym, even if you're out with clients, they're always getting that response. Call Action integrates with a ton of different things. So Boomtown integrates with it. Line Desk integrates with it. Pretty much any system that you use, that you get leads from, or that you use in your business, Call Action is going to integrate with. It even integrates with Showing Time. So there's tons of different things that you can do with it. The possibilities are endless. So that's callaction.co. Here's another one to help with your speed to lead. This one's specifically for open houses. Who does open houses in here? Every hand should be up, guys. We have the lowest inventory we have had in 12 years. Consumers know it, and they know that homes go fast, so the second they see an open house, they're showing up. Anybody who's out looking for a home right now knows that inventory is low, and they go to open houses. If you're not doing them, you should be. So for those of you doing them, this is Spatio. It's up at the top, S-P-A-C-I-O. What Spatio does is automates the sign up and follow-up process from your open houses. Nice little iPad app that you can put at your open house. They sign in right on the iPad. It automatically verifies their contact information for you to make sure if that's a real lead or not. It'll do it instantly. So right when they check in, if they give you Mickey Mouse at donaldduck.com, it'll say, hey, not verified, and you'll say, oh, I'm sorry, before you come into this home, the sellers still live here, all of their things are here. They really require that you provide accurate contact info before coming into the property, right? It'll also automate texts, emails, whatever you want to go out afterwards. Customize with their name, whatever you'd like. So you can even set up, if they said that they were pre-qualified, they get a different follow-up message than if they didn't say they were pre-qualified. Or different follow-up messages based on if they said they were working with an agent or not. So it automates them signing in, verifying contact information, and the follow-up for you. This also integrates with all your CRMs.
Does it work with Android?
Works with Android too. Yeah, you just need a tablet, whatever tablet, Android tablet you can get.
Doesn't it stop some of the visitors to sign up? They said, okay, no.
Requiring them to sign in. I think that's kind of a personal preference for everybody, whether they require or not. It might stop them, but if a buyer's coming into my open house and refuses to give me contact info, that person's never turning into a client for me. So why do I care if they're there or not?
Yes.
Right? So personal preference though.
So the email is verified. What about phone number?
Yes, email and phone. Yes. There's one other one, so the way that they verify is they just verify that it's a real email and a real phone. There's another one called Cleared. It's Cleared with a K, very similar to Spatio except without the auto follow-up at the end. What they do is they actually verify phone and email and verify that it belongs to that same person. So a little bit more expensive, but extra little perk there. Spatio is about $25 a month. Super easy if you're doing a ton of open houses to start automating some of those processes. All right, now we can't talk about automation and speed to lead without talking about chatbots. So let's talk about chatbots and AI. So chatbots have come a long way. Has anybody taken my Inman update class? Or the slew of all of the different things, right? So I talk a lot about AI in that class. AI's come a really long way, even in just the last 6 months. This, what you're seeing out here, is an actual real conversation between a real live human being and a real live chatbot. Chatbots are incredible now. They can pick up on keywords. I've seen this particular chatbot do things like, the lead says, oh, my fiance and I are moving there at the end of the summer. She has a new job in Phoenix. And the chatbot replies, congratulations on your upcoming nuptials. Where's her new office so we can make sure you're close to there? So it'll even pick up on things like that. It will use emojis. It's incredible. So AI's come a really long way. Chatbots can do those types of things now, but it still is pretty expensive. So this is called Structurally. The word structure and then an LY at the end. Structurally is pretty expensive. Is anybody on Lion Desk in here? Okay, your AI that's in Lion Desk is Structurally. It's $3 a lead. If you go to Structurally individually, it's about $280 a month. So different ways to use it. If you're using Lion Desk, you can do it more of a pay per lead, pay as you go type of thing. But if you go direct to Structurally, you're going to pay a little bit of a higher cost. But what you've got to look at is you have to look at the time investment versus the ROI. If you're only getting 10, 15 leads a month, I'm sorry, sweetheart, but you've got time to talk to them yourself. If you're getting 500 leads a month, then you probably don't have time to talk to every single person yourself. So leverage those chatbots where you can. Keep in mind, though, that you've got to always be tuned into what's going on. Because AI has come so far and these conversational bots do sound like actual humans, your consumer thinks that they are actual humans. So when they say something stupid or they get something wrong or they ask the same question twice, they think it's a human messing up, not an AI. So make sure you're always tuned into what they're doing, but you can see from here that this has come a very, very long way just in a short amount of time. Chatbots, I think, down the road are going to be something that's almost necessary. The more that you're asked to do, the more you're required to do, the more consumers expect of you, the more available you have to be. You just can't be everywhere at once. And so these chatbots can really help fill in those gaps. Yes, question over here.
I've kind of changed my mind, but I'll ask anyway.
You can't jump in there and start answering.
You can.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
So at any point, whether you're using the line desk integration or straight to Structurally yourself, there's a button where you just turn it off and you take over the conversation live time.
Okay.
You can watch it live also. So if they say anything, you know, you can immediately jump in and turn that AI off and jump in there too. Absolutely. So you can also use AI chatbots for different things. Structurally is actually created just to convert real estate leads. It's a chatbot so specific for what you do that it does it super well. There's other chatbots though that do different things. This one is called Eva Bot. Eva Bot is a personal assistant chatbot that helps you purchase gifts, personalized gifts for clients, leads, prospects, whoever you're purchasing a gift for. So with Eva Bot, what she does is you said, okay, for closing gifts, I have a maximum dollar limit of $50. I'm not going to spend more than $50 on a closing gift. You let Eva Bot know whenever you have a closing. She integrates with some other stuff. Won't get into that. But you let Eva know whenever you have a closing. Hey, I've got a closing. Joe and Susie are closing on the 30th. Eva reaches out to Joe and Susie and introduces herself as the client care specialist for your team. And she says that her job is to find the perfect closing gift for them. And so she's going to ask them a couple of different questions. And they're going to go through and kind of talk to her about what they like and what they don't like and lifestyle and things like that. And if she finds out that they are wine aficionados, she's going to get them a wine-related gift. And if she finds out that they like horses, she's going to get them a horse-related gift. So she actually has a conversation with your past clients, figures out what they're interested in, automatically goes to the online store, finds a gift that's on your set budget, orders it, ships it to them. You never touch it. Who would start doing closing gifts that we're using, right? So lots of different bots for lots of different things. So when we talk about artificial intelligence, it's part bot. That's what most people think of AI as, is bot. And then the other side of AI is what we call ML or machine learning. So there's kind of two sides of AI. With machine learning, what that does is it's essentially a big supercomputer that's able to process and analyze data faster than anybody else can. And they find patterns. So there's interesting patterns that have been found. If you want a good short book to read, Spencer Raskoff wrote a book called Zillow Talks. And in Zillow Talks, he takes a bunch of the big data that he found at Zillow and tells you all these interesting things that you never would have guessed. So one of the things that they found analyzing the data using machine learning is that people are more likely to buy a home on a numbered street versus a street that has a human's name. So they'd rather live on 48th Street than Carolyn Avenue. Why do you think that is? Because they have some ex-girlfriend or ex-boyfriend, right, names that. And so they don't want to live on that street. There's another interesting thing that whenever a Whole Foods is built, all of the homes within a 1 mile radius increase in value 4%. So all of that is using big data and machine learning to find all of these patterns and things that you can't find, just looking at it or analyzing it the old school way. So with that big data, I'm skipping. I'll just skip back. This is one of those systems that uses that big data and that AI. So not a chatbot. What this uses AI for is to take your existing database, all of your past clients, all of your leads, those people that gave you fake contact info, everybody that you've got, you throw them in here, and it finds all of this different intelligence for you of how you can follow up with those leads better, and it gives you a personalized, automated lead follow-up plan for every single one of your leads. So if you've got old, cold, dead leads that have been sitting in your account for 6 months, you've got some, right? So you have those old, cold, dead leads that have been sitting in your account for 6 months. You're afraid to delete them because you paid for them, so you don't want to do that, but you're also afraid to call them, so they're just sitting there. Here's what you do with them. You upload them right here. It's going to find you opportunities and hot leads. And what it does is it also figures out things like what time of day they're more likely to answer the phone, what time of day they're more likely to read your email or read your text messages. So not only, this is like a drip campaign on steroids. It's not like everybody's getting the same email on the same day at the same time. This system can actually customize the wording and the time frame of when emails and text messages are sent out based on each individual person's behavior.
What about if they've already bought a house or sold a house?
So if they've already bought a house or sold a house, then you want to use first.io. So First.io is another machine learning system. This one uses your database of past clients, more personal friends, less leads. And what they do is they use big data, a lot of information about what they're doing online, what they're purchasing, that sort of thing, to figure out who in your database is likely to sell. So with this one, they all have a score. You can kind of see them over here, but it's hard to see. So every single person in your phone's contact book will have a score associated with them. The score is going to be a number between 1 and 5. A 4 would mean that they are 4 times more likely to sell their home in the next 3 to 6 months than the general population. So this essentially pulls those opportunities for your past clients. This one pulls opportunities for your leads, plus does some automated marketing. Yes?
What information do you have to put in to get that?
So for this one, all you need is an email address and phone number. So who does online banking? Everybody, right? Who has a credit card? Who does online banking with their credit card? Who uses the same email address on your online banking that you do on Facebook? Okay. So a lot of interesting things that you can find out with big data. Your credit card purchases are public record. So there's a stat that if somebody goes to Home Depot, they spend at least $700, and one of those items is paint, they are 22 times more likely to sell their home in the next 6 months than the average population. Big data figure that out, because your credit card purchases are not private information. So First.io uses stuff like that. They have your email address, which is attached to your online banking. They have your phone number. They have your phone, so they kind of can triangulate where you're making phone calls from. They know where you're at. They know what you're doing online. They know what you're doing on Facebook. When you signed up for Facebook, you guys remember the terms and conditions that you agreed to?
That's what all that
You guys all read them, right?
No.
No? What? So in there it said that when you're on Facebook, Facebook can see every other website that you're on and what you're doing on them, every other app that's on your phone, and how long you use them for and how often you use them. Facebook knows a ton of information about you, and Facebook's not even the scary one, Google is. But we'll get to that. So all of these systems are using that machine learning and artificial intelligence to find patterns in consumer behavior that make them more likely to buy or sell. Because the old school way was what? You got married, you're having a kid, you got divorced, or your kid just graduated from high school, right? That's the normal, what triggers you to buy and sell. But these days, we have all this extra data and all this extra information, we can get even more specific. So First.io for pricing. First.io is a little expensive. AI has come a really long way in the last 3 months, but that means cutting edge AI is still pricey. That price is going to come down, I'm sure, but it's going to be a little while before it does. So First.io is about $120 a month. It's unlimited contacts for you though, and it's super easy to use. They've got this dashboard up here. I never even use this. All I use is the phone app. It literally, I don't have to export an Excel spreadsheet and import it anywhere. I don't have to do anything. I download the app on my phone. It pops up and says, allow access to your contacts. I hit allow, and I'm done. Every single day I open it up. It gives me 5 to 10 people, tells me their scores. I swipe right, just like Tinder. I swipe right if I want to follow up with them. I swipe left if I want to dismiss them. Easy peasy.
So is this
So
like
what was
a,
the cost on the other one?
Sorry.
Is this like a client management system?
No, literally just tells you how likely they are to sell. You can log notes and stuff in there, but keep that stuff in your CRM. Just use it for the scores. The other one, this one right here, Squad Voice, is a newer product. They don't have public information on their website about pricing, so that means they're expensive. I'd assume $2,000 a month or more. This is a 100% platform agnostic full marketing automation system. So if you use Boomtown, if you use Commissions Inc., if you use Real Geeks, if you use whatever, it doesn't matter. This bolts on to your CRM and processes all of this for you. So it's like an entire marketing system. So that one's quite
So
pricey.
it's not a CRM?
It's not really, it kind of just bolts onto your CRM. You can use it as a CRM if you want, but they made it to be platform agnostic because they know some people use their broker CRM, some people use Boomtown, some people use Conversion, some people use whatever. So they made it to much more be a bolt-on so that you can continue to use whatever system you enjoy and just use that AI. Fantastic system though. I know a few people across the country, nobody here locally that's using it, and they're getting killer results from it. They typically say if you're not getting more than 500 leads a month, you're not a good fit for them. So keep that in mind. This is mostly for people that are doing online lead gen, really cranking out a ton of leads. Alright, I'm gonna go backwards now. Okay, so if you're not comfortable with AI, machine learning, having some robot talk to your leads, I get it, that's fine. You can have a real human talk to them instead. So this is Agentology. There's a lot of these types of services out there. These are US-based call centers, essentially. You parse in your leads that you're getting. So they connect with all these different databases, boomtowns, conversions, all of the typical ones. Any leads that you get, you can have automatically sent to Agentology. They will make that first phone call guaranteed within the first 2 minutes. So if you're not able to do that speed to lead, and the automation and AI stuff isn't meeting what you're looking for to automate that follow-up and answering those phone calls, Agentology is your next best option. Keep in mind, even though they are US-based, they're out of San Diego, they're not real estate agents. So there have been some bulletins from wonderful Judy Lowe at the Department of Real Estate about this very issue. They cannot, and they know this, they cannot talk about real estate when they're on the phone. So if I'm a home shopper, a buyer, and I'm looking at homes to buy, and the person from the real estate team that I sign up on their website calls me and they can't talk to real estate about me, or they can't talk with me about real estate, that's a little weird, right? So essentially all they can do is set appointments for you. They're pretty good at it, but those of you who've done online leads know that a lot of the conversation that you have is more about the properties and about neighborhoods and about relocating. So it's kind of hit or miss. Some people have had great results with them, some people haven't. I think it really depends on your types of leads. This is, again, if you've got time to call them yourself, you're the knowledgeable local market expert, you should be making that phone call. If you can't make it, that's when these tech tools come in. You making that personal phone call within 2 minutes, though, is absolutely the best thing that you can do with your leads. All right, that's really tiny and you can't see that at all. What this is, Zillow does a study every year. They don't do it themselves, they contract a third party, so it's, unbiased. But what they do is they survey people who actually bought or sold a home last year. So these are people who bought or sold a home in 2018. This one's actually people who purchased. And they ask them a bunch of different questions. How they found their agent, what's important to them in a home, how they choose the community that they live in, all of those types of things. The other thing that they ask them are, what is the most important characteristic of your agent? Number one that you can't read says trustworthy. Number two that you can't read says responsive. They need to trust you and you need to be responsive to their needs. They expect instant access and they need to trust you. How do you build trust? Does anybody know the formula? It's not a tech thing.
Be transparent, like let them know everything.
Being transparent, right? So trust, I forget who said it. I'm going to misappropriate it, so whatever, I forget who said it. Some really smart person, that's not me, said, trust is built by consistency plus time. So consistency over time equals trust. How do we build consistency with our leads? Without systems. We don't. So when we make that first phone call, we might have a great conversation with them. Then we hang up the phone, we know everything about them. We know why they're moving to Arizona. We know that they hate the politics in California. Everybody there is crazy. They want to be with their people. They like horses. They want space. Know everything about these people now, right? We set a date for them to come look at homes if they're out here in a couple weeks. Everything's good. I hang up the phone with them, and I get a sign call. And I have a willing, able, and ready buyer standing out front of one of my listings that wants to go see it. What do? I drop everything and run. And then before I know it, I'm writing an offer on that property, and then my escrow officer calls me because there's an issue with the title report that needs to get cleared up, and then I'm calling that buyer, and I'm dealing with all of these buyers. And then before I know it, 3 weeks go by, and I never followed up with that person I had a phone call with. No, just me? Does this happen to you guys? Right? Because we're always paying attention to what's closest to the dollar, as we should be. Our time needs to be spent with those people who are going to convert and close soon. But we have to make sure that we're being consistent with everybody else, otherwise we're not building trust, and we're never going to convert them. So the tools to build trust. The reason I threw this one in this section to build trust is because this finds opportunities for you that you didn't know existed. And also because it personalizes the schedule and the follow-up. Another one to build trust would be Lion Desk. Where are my Lion Desk people at again? Awesome. Okay. Does anybody in here not have a CRM?
I need to figure out which one I want to get.
Okay.
That's why I'm here.
So best CRM is the one that you use, right? If it's an Excel spreadsheet, fine. If that's the only thing that you're going to use, then use it. In my opinion, I think CRMs are a very personal decision, but in my opinion, having researched all of the different CRMs, all of the different systems, the value you get in LionDesk for the cost is leaps and bounds ahead of anything else. Reason I love LionDesk: I can set it up so that the second I get a lead, they get an instant text from me saying, hey, thanks for inquiring about my listing on 123 East Main Street. I'm out with buyers right now, but here's a link to view all the photos. And then if they don't respond 15 minutes later, or a few minutes later, either way, it could follow up and it could say, hey, do you want to schedule a time to go see that property? And if they don't respond, then 15 minutes later it can reply and say, let me know, ... It can automate emails to them. All of this stuff that it can do, video emails, video texts, emojis in your text messages, automated text messages, and that AI, if you want to use it as an add-on, all of that for $20 a month. Find me another CRM that can do all that, and I don't know, I'll give you $100. There's not. So there's some features in LionDesk that literally don't exist until you get into the $150 plus a month range for CRMs. There's features that LionDesk at $20 a month have. That's why I love it. They're not affiliated with us. I've got a discount code for you if you want it, but anybody can call them and get a discount code. So we're not affiliated with them in any way, but that's why I love them, because it's so cheap. If your CRM cannot automate some of your lead follow-up for you, you need to be looking at a different CRM. It's getting to the point where you have to be in front of people consistently. Does anybody know the number of licensed agents we have in Arizona now?
Too many.
88,000.
How many?
88,000. The average homeowner in Arizona knows 12 licensed real estate agents. When you talk to somebody and they say, yeah, I think I'm going to buy in 6 months, call and check in 4. When you call and check in 4 months, they've already bought, because 7 other real estate agents have called them or knocked on their door or sent them an email or they signed up on their website or something, right? So we have to be in front of people more often than we think. Our attention spans have shortened. People forget about us. There's even an interesting stat about how quickly they forget who we are even when they love us. So your past clients, especially your buyers, when you're in escrow with a buyer, do you know what they're doing every night? They're driving by that home. Because you told them to. You told them to drive by in the morning, drive by at school pickup hours, drive by in the evening, drive by on a Saturday, drive by on a weekday. Because you want them to know everything that's going on in the community, right? You want them to be happy with their home purchase when they move in. Well, all those times they're driving by, they're looking at that sign in the yard of the listing agent. 2 years after a buyer closes on their home, they're more likely to think that their agent was the listing agent than their actual agent. Impressions matter. Even if they don't reply to you, getting something in front of them matters. Those impressions matter. So LionDesk can help you automate that. Automated text, automated emails, automated video text messages, and automated video emails. 30-day free trial, no credit card required. At least sign up and start playing with it and see if you can start using it. If you're looking to be able to convert those leads better, there's no better system for $25 a month. And your discount code's lawyer's title. Super hard to remember. All right, let's talk about some scripts. So texts are one of the best ways to convert leads. If they're not responding to you, if they did at one point but now they're not really messaging back, they've kind of gone cold, text messages can be a great way. I'll send you guys the scripts, you don't have to take pictures. So some of these texts, you'll notice that they're all kind of open-ended questions. So the first one is one that's more of an intro text. So the very first time they reach out to you. They inquired on your website or maybe signed up on a Facebook ad. Thanks for registering on our website URL. Do you prefer to communicate by text, email, or phone? Asking the client what they prefer to communicate with you by. You can even add Facebook Messenger, Instagram DMs, whatever. We're expected to communicate with them every way, but let's figure out how they prefer it so we know how to get a hold of them. Next one, I have an opening this Saturday afternoon to go look at homes. Are there any you'd like to go see? You will have leads who have every intention of using you, but they feel like they're bugging you when they ask to go see properties. You want that FaceTime, right? You don't care if they're not buying for 6 months. You want FaceTime with a lead as fast as you can get it, because that's how you secure that rapport. So this gives them permission to say, sure, okay. You're reaching out to them, you're offering that appointment, you're offering that space. Are there any homes you'd like to go see? Get FaceTime with them. Not sure if you're in the neighborhood this weekend, cute little shrug emoji, but I have a list of open houses. Where should I send them? Kind of another way to figure out how they prefer to be communicated with. Or if you already know that they like text and they tell you to send it via email, that means they don't care, right? So now that gives you more information of how you can follow up with that lead. You expressed an interest in homes in Scottsdale. Were you looking to buy soon or just browsing? I was wondering, are you looking for a home for yourself or as an investment? These open-ended questions that they can't just answer yes or no to, so you can get them talking and learn a little bit more about them. Who knows the #1 best text message to get a response? First name, question mark. If you just want to figure out, is this a real phone number and a real human being and actually the person that they said it was, first name, question mark. 100% of the time they say, who dis? Right? Great way to get a response. All right, let's talk about emails. This was hands down one of the best emails that I have ever seen. So this right here, what you're going to do is if you've got a cold lead who's on your website every single day, they're looking at properties all the time. Every one of those auto emails that goes out from Flex MLS, you're getting an alert in your email the second it goes out saying that they clicked on that link and opened it. But they won't answer the damn phone when you call. So for those people, I want you to go into their search, whether it's on your website or in the MLS. I'm going to send them to you too, but you can keep taking pictures if you want, but you'll get all the slides. You can copy and paste, it's easier. So on this one, what you're going to do is you're going to go into their search. And let's say they have a search set up with a max of 400,000. I want you to go find a new listing or a price reduction for 405,000, just outside of their budget. Or if you can't find one of those, if they're searching for 3 or more bedrooms, find one that's 2 bedrooms plus a den. So you're trying to find a property that's just outside their search criteria, so they probably haven't seen it yet. Once you find it, ideally a new listing or a price reduction, go through the photos, find the sexiest kitchen you can find, or the sexiest backyard, whatever the sexiest photo is of that house, grab it. Make sure it's not the main photo, so not the little thumbnail. Make sure it's not that one. Save it to your computer, then go and send an email to that lead. Hey, first name, I saw this home and thought of you. It just came across my desk as a new listing, and I thought of you. Is this something you're interested in? No price, no address, no link, no other photos. You've got a lead that's not responding to you, that's going to get a response. When they're logging on looking every day at your portal, that means they're interested in buying a home. They might not be ready to talk to you yet, and that's fine. I used this when I was still selling real estate. I had someone who'd been browsing my website almost every single day. I never got them on the phone. I'd left them a couple voicemails, shot them a couple texts, never got a response. But I saw that they were opening the emails every day. So what I did was I did this search. I noticed that they were really into all of their favorited properties, all had open layouts and white quartz countertops, of course, right? So they all had white quartz countertops. So I went in and I found a photo of a property with white quartz countertops. That was just outside their search criteria. It was 5,000 over what they had their max price as. Sent it to them, got a response within 10 minutes. They said, yes, that's exactly what we're looking for. Can we see more photos? Sent it to them, booked an appointment for that Saturday. That home ended up not working out for them, but while we were there touring the property, because we finally got that FaceTime, I'd been consistent, I'd been showing value, I'd been following up. We have that FaceTime in person, and they say, well, we've got a home in South Scottsdale. We want to sell that one first and then downsize into like a condo. Cool, sounds great. Anybody in here work South Scottsdale? Okay. Imagine a 3-bed, 2-bath, single-family home for $340,000. How freaking great was that listing? Sold in a day and bought them their new house. Sell by off of one email. It's awesome. Here's another one. You guys just finished your video class. There was a study in Psychology Today back in February where researchers actually wanted to figure out how do our brains interpret video. And what they found out was that when you see a person talking on video, 2 weeks after watching that, you recall that as an in-person, face-to-face conversation. I said this in a class once and my client called BS. That's absolutely not true. And I said, it is. It's in Psychology Today, whatever. A few weeks later, he calls me and goes, oh my God. I was with my lender, and I said to her, hey, what was that thing you were telling me about a couple of weeks ago with the way that the interest rates changed? And she looked at me and she said, that was a video. So there you go. So this one down here is a great intro email. Hey, you probably think it's some automated system or robot emailing you, but it's not. It's me. I'm a real human being. Just wanted to put myself on video so you know a little bit more about who I am. Lived in the Valley for 30 years. Give me a call if you have any questions about the homes you're seeing on your search. What's great is I love to send this automated through LionDesk. So it still is an automated system, but now they also know that you're a real human being too. All right, so when you ask buyers and sellers, do you need a real estate agent these days? You got all this data, you've got Zillow, do you need one? They overwhelmingly say yes, absolutely. But then you ask them why, and this is what they say. So for buyers, people who actually purchased the home in 2018, the number one most important thing, organizing and submitting the paperwork with purchasing the home. In the eyes of consumers today, this isn't future, this isn't real estate 2020, this isn't, which is like 2 years from now, it's a year. Yes. It's not real estate 2025, right? This isn't flying cars and futuristic hoverboards. This is now. Your value, your number one value in the eyes of the consumers is not finding them a home. They can do that themselves. It's the paperwork. So when your value is the paperwork and the negotiations and guiding them through the process and providing guidance, are you showcasing that value and are you talking about it before you get to contract? Because that's why they're working with you, is for your negotiation expertise, which by the way, younger home buyers, millennials and Gen other way. Gen Z and millennials, the two youngest generations, more likely to care about your negotiation skills than any other generation. Because they're in lower price points and tougher markets. They care about your negotiating expertise more. They're not buying $1 million property that they're not competing with anybody on. So all of these things, but do we talk about that? So how do we show value where it actually counts? This is for sellers. Number one most important thing, finding interested buyers. Sellers don't want you to just throw it on the MLS and go to sleep. They expect you to go find the buyers yourself. Number two, organize and submit the paperwork. Number three, take photos. Number four, negotiations. In your listing appointments, how long do you spend talking about marketing? The whole time usually, right? We talk about price for a second, and then we talk about marketing. Promoting the listing on social media is down here. Creating print ads for the home is down here. Video is down here, above social media. That's interesting. Where's the other one? Open houses, a little bit more. Remote listing on real estate sites. So literally, they care that you take photos of their home and you put it on Zillow. That's all they care about. The rest of it, the rest of your value in the eyes of your sellers today is contract to close. Make sure you're talking about it, because that's what they care about. All right, here's some more tips that are going to be automated for you. HomeBot. Let's go talk about it so I don't need to. I'll send you the slides. This is something called Altos. People want to know that you're the market expert. That was one of the top ones on buyers and sellers is local market knowledge. So being a local market expert, you've got to have the stats. This is Altos reports. Just get in touch with me or Kim. We'll set you up on Altos. Last little tip, Article Forge. This one will write blog posts for you using AI. That's just kind of a little freebie. You heard that right. If I type in Scottsdale kitchen remodels, submit. Article Forge writes me an entire 1,000-word blog post on Scottsdale kitchen remodels.
Is it
to put on my
unique?
website.
Or is it one that they just sent to somebody else as well?
It's instant. It's AI instantly writing an article for you. It's badass. That's a freebie.
That's amazing.
One more freebie. Talk to Kim about that one. All right. All your scripts and slides, take out your phones real quick. Send a text message to 480-400-0620 and send the message TECH, T-E-C-H, no little quotes.
What is this number for again?
Text that number. All these slides are going to be instantly texted back to you because it's a tech summit, so I use some tech.
Awesome.
Cool. Everybody got this number?
Yes.
Oh.
No.
Okay. 480-400-0620. Type the word tech. Cool. All right, you guys are in for a treat with Liz. Thank you.
Thanks, Liz.
Woohoo!
Did everyone sign in, by the way? No. I'm gonna pass this back around, because I know every speaker has stuff to hand out. Just pass it around, please, and thank you. There's two brothers.
All right, how's everyone doing? Okay, we are going to go ahead and get started. All right, well, hello everyone. I'm Liz Dysart with VIP Mortgage. I was previously with Lawyer's Title, so Amanda, Sue, and Kim and I work closely together. I work with the Crawford team. We're a power partner here. We've been for 4.5 years. We're a top 1% lender in the nation. We can help with any of your buyer's needs on the financing side, but not here to talk about anything relating to that today. We are on a tech summit, so what I'm going to talk about today is my 5 top apps or tech on the website side for real estate in 2019. And these are all new from my class last year. I had 5 different apps that I loved. I attend Inman every year and learn about the best, latest, and greatest tech for real estate agents. Amanda Sue goes as well. So we'd love to bring it home to our agent partners and teach you guys today. So the ones, I'm going to do about 5 minutes on each app, and then I'll send you guys my whole presentation with links and everything afterwards. So don't feel like you have to scribble, because I'm going to go pretty quick. All right, so how many of you feel like this? Little overwhelmed, right? And I feel like so many agents with social media technology get so overwhelmed because there's so many things out there that you can use. And the one thing we know is that if you use all of them, you're probably not going to use any of them very effectively. So I know my mentality with my agent partners is narrow your focus, find one of these apps today that will work in your business and use that one. You may not need to use all 5, but if you can implement one thing into your business to help you work more efficiently and make more money, that's what we're here for. So, but the social media overwhelm is real. I think we all get it in this world these days with how much amazing content there is out there and great speakers. But let's talk about the first of the 5 that I love. The first is the Reach app. How many of you have heard of this one? Oh, only 2, and one's Kim. Yay, so only one person. Glad I bring in some of you today. So the Reach app is my favorite tool that I've learned in my business that I've implemented in the past year has been the Reach app. And what it is it allows you to mass text or email from your phone, and it personalizes the text to the recipient. And it also allows you to put in, which on the next slide, photos, bitmojis, videos, links, all sorts of stuff in the text. And it goes as text and email. It allows you to set up groups in the app for very quick access. So you can have a group for your sphere of influence, you can have a group for your leads, you can have a group for past clients, and you can compose one text message. You can insert video, you can insert bitmojis, you can choose the group that you want the text message to go to, and it'll send an individual text to each of the members in the group with a click of a button. And they come from your number, and they also allow people to respond directly back to you, and you get them on your phone just as you would a normal text. The other great application for it is that if you don't have the contacts in your phone, maybe you don't want to put them in your phone, it allows you to import a CSV file and message those people as well. Now, why would you want to import a CSV file? Can we think of any applications for it? from your CRM. So maybe past cold leads that you're trying to warm up again. That's a great one. Any other things?
Open house, circle prospect.
Love it. Yay. This is my next slide. So exactly right. Nadia, good, thanks. So it's free. It's a free app, which I love, but that's only up to 8 contacts. So I would say try it out with maybe a few of your closest VIP clients. If you like it and find yourself using it, then upgrade to the $4.99 a month for unlimited messages. That's what I have. It's the best $5 I've ever spent in my business, really. Now, here's what the interface looks like. It's super easy. I like easy. I feel like tech needs to be simple these days. So there's literally 3 buttons at the bottom. The first one is messages, and that's where it saves any message that you have sent from the app, and that way you can reuse the same message over and over for different groups if you want. The second button is for contacts, and that's where you have your group lists. And also this shows you how you can input each person's name individually within the group. And within the message, as I mentioned, you can add videos, photos, links, phone numbers, websites, whatever you want there. And the last button at the bottom is settings. So very easy user interface and allows you to quickly and easily send a message. I use them in my business. I send them to 300 of our agent partners once a month. They get a message from me, and it takes me about 5 minutes to do that. So pretty great personal touch to our clients with a once a month text message. And these are some examples of ones that I've done. We always customize little images with our branding, very easy to do in another app I'll talk about in a minute. But this one, hi Mindy, happy Thanksgiving from the Crawford team. We appreciate you. As a reminder, if you've not already RSVP'd for our holiday agent appreciation event, please do so by clicking, and the link is there for them. Wishing you and your family a great holiday. So I was able to send a personalized text with each of our agent partners' names in about a minute. Super easy and quick. You're also, as I mentioned, able to send Bitmojis. So if you want to do something a little less businessy, this seems a little businessy with links and Crawford team and all that, send something like this, just a personal message. Hey, how are you doing? Thinking of you today. Yes?
Quick question. Would that work under a phone number that's under Google Voice or Freedom Voice?
Google Voice, I believe that it will. Because now you can get text through Google Voice as well. Okay. That's a new feature. I don't know anything about Freedom Voice, so I can't speak to that.
It's like you can send text messages through Freedom Voice, and I may have to get rid of it because of it.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, I think these days text messaging is becoming most people's primary method of communication, which is kind of crazy, but you definitely want to have something that people can reply back to you via text message. So I think just for a very simple text as well, hey, how are you doing? Was thinking of you. You can do that through Reach and hit your whole sphere of influence quickly and easily. Some other practical uses, Nadia mentioned some, but for farming, you can get a list from your partners at Lawyer's Title. You can import the list into Reach and send a text or email to that list with a just listed, a just sold, marketing an open house, or you can send a text with your HomeBot link for homeowners to check their home value, and then they join your database too. I'm going to talk about HomeBot in a little bit. It's also great for open house marketing, lead cultivation, client appreciation invites, and your sphere of influence. Personalized holiday messages, birthday messages, things like that you can do, and video texting as well. A lot of people use BombBomb for video messaging, which is great, but this is $5, that's $99. So you can do that through here very easily. Yes, sir?
You literally have thousands of contacts for $5.
Thousands of contacts. The issue is, so when it populates the messages, you're going to have to hit send as many times as in the list. And it goes literally that quick. Send, 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 send.
Wow.
That's the issue. So that's the personal barrier. For me to do 300 is my normal that I do on a regular basis, and that takes me about 7 minutes to do 300. And there's no other way that I could communicate with 300 people in a personal way that they're going to respond well to than Reach. So I absolutely love it. But yes, no limit. You can import a farm list in there. If it's email, they'll go a lot quicker than text. You actually do have to hit the send button every time.
Oh, email you do not.
You do not. Yeah, those go differently. Oh, yes.
Can I throw in one little thing that I just found 2 days ago?
Yes.
If you have a Mac you can get a free app called Porterhouse like the steak, that will do what Reach does, automated from your Mac.
Wow.
With your own phone number.
I didn't know that.
Like brand new, I just found it.
Porterhouse,
Yeah, like the steak.
Awesome.
Works the same as this app?
Yep, except you don't have to press the button, but only if you have an iPhone and a Mac.
And you can use it from, your laptop.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's free.
Great tip, guys.
Porterhouse, like the steak.
And the Reach app now has the ability to, when you're going to import a CSV list, you used to have to do it from your phone, which was a little cumbersome. Now you can do it from your laptop as well, so it's a lot easier. I actually, if you want, which I can email you, I put together a list of Reach Sphere of Influence touches, 1 a month, every month. I even wrote the content for you. So if you want those, I can include those for you as well. Any questions on Reach before we move on? No? Okay, we're going to keep trucking along. The second one that I love right now is Buffer. How many of you have heard of Buffer? Okay, only a couple again. Great. So how many of you get overwhelmed by trying to figure out what your social media posts are going to be? Yes, it gets really difficult. And it's hard to remember to do it, right? On Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday. What Buffer does is it allows you to manage and schedule all of your social posts over all of your different platforms. It's really amazing. So that way you can sit down on a weekend or on a weekday, but you can block out an hour or two and literally plan out all of your social content and posts over the next month. It's pretty awesome. It integrates with Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Instagram, Zapier, and WordPress. And it allows you to manage multiple accounts of each at a time. So if you have multiple Instagram pages, a personal and a business, multiple Facebook pages, a personal and a business, you can have them all on Buffer and manage all of your content that way. It also allows you to see analytics on your post performance. That way you can see which posts are performing well for you and maybe which aren't. That way you know not to repeat those. And it costs $15 a month. So for me, instead of having to do a post every single day, I'd rather pay $15 and get them all done once a month. Yes, sir?
When you said multiple accounts, kind of sidetracked from that, but do you have to use a different email or phone number to create different Instagram and like 2 or 3 Instagrams or 2 or 3
No,
Facebooks?
you don't. So Facebook business page will verify that you're an actual business. So all the business related content, obviously the real estate ADRE requires that your brokerage has to be on there, your office address, all of that. But no, you can use Facebook and Instagram, both allow you to have multiple accounts from the same email address. And Instagram now even allows you to toggle between the accounts really easily on your posts as well. But this will have, you can basically, any account that you set up in here will have them all on the left. So you just simply click the different tabs and queue different content and schedule the dates that you want it. And it literally shows you what's upcoming. So you can plot out your 3 posts for a week on Facebook, your 2 posts for a week on Instagram, and do it all from here. This is what the app looks like. And this one actually is an app and a website. So you can do it from your desktop. I know it's a lot quicker, I think, on desktop sometimes to find social content. But this is a great one. And if you're going to use one of the sites that Amanda Sue talked about to get blog content, you can automatically publish your blog content from here as well. So this is an amazing system that can save you a lot of time on the social media side. Any questions on this? No? All right. The next one I want to talk about is word swag. Has anyone heard about this? No? Oh my goodness, I love it. So in my opinion, this is the easiest way to add cool text, all sorts of different fun fonts, over photos and also create text image posts. And I'm sure you guys have seen these are all the rage these days on social media. These kind of either quotes or images, text, motivational stuff. And these are great, but you can also use these for real estate. So think about if you had your listing photos and you wanted to put some cool text over it. A price, an address, the features of the home over it. And make it look very visually appealing and not have to do it from your iPhone where you can't change the fonts. This is a really great app for this. But this is a way that they have all the images in there, or you can use your own images and put behind it, and then it's very simple and easy to change the different fonts and layouts to make very cool content pieces. So you can create your content on WordSwag and put it into Buffer to schedule for later. So some practical applications for this, listing photos, I think it's great for. So you take the photos of the house that generally don't perform as well when you're just posting a picture of a house on social media, and add some cool stuff on top of it. Add some cool text. Add what neighborhood it's in, or what some features nearby are, or how many bedrooms and bathrooms, price. You know, use it to ask a question. Guess where my new listing is, and try to build some engagement that way. You can also use it for text posts, just like we talked about. Market stats would be great. So instead of just typing in market stats or trying to rip off an infographic that you've seen on some other agents' information, make your own on here very easily. It's also really great for client testimonials. So when you get that email back from a client that says after the closing, "Thanks, Nadia, that was amazing. I appreciate all your help. You're the best agent ever." Yeah, you can turn that into a really beautiful post for yourself with WordSwag. And it's free, which is great too. So this one is an app. There's no website version for it, so only an app. Any questions on that one? No? All right, we're gonna keep going. This one is Videolicious, and this is the one I love the most. Has anyone heard of Videolicious? Okay. So this one is my favorite way to record videos for your business that aren't just selfie videos. So obviously selfie videos are very effective these days, and I'm not saying not to do them. But if you want to spruce it up a little bit, try Videolicious. What I love about Videolicious, and I'm actually going to play the demo for you if I can, because I cannot describe it as good as they can. It's pretty awesome to see. Let's look.
So here's how it works. First, I choose my shots, and these could be video clips or photos shot with this device or another camera. Then I tell my story, and I'm going to talk and tap, and Videolicious will trim the footage, layer it in as B-roll, add logos, music, graphics, transitions, and effects in seconds. So here we go. Hey everybody, Matt Singer here. I'm at 85 West End Avenue. Gorgeous looking apartment with a brand new kitchen featuring stainless steel appliances that you're going to love. The bedroom has excellent light and very clever built-ins like this desk and this well-appointed closet. So give me a call if you have any questions. I'm excited to give you a personal showing, and thanks for watching. That's it. So Videolicious put it all together. As a final step, I'm going to add some music. And let's see the final result. Hey everybody, Matt Singer here. I'm at 85 West End Avenue. Gorgeous looking apartment with a brand new kitchen featuring stainless steel appliances that you're going to love. The bedroom has excellent light and very clever built-ins like this desk and this well-appointed closet. So give me a call if you have any questions. I'm excited to give you a personal showing, and thanks for watching. That's it. Your video is ready to send out.
Pretty awesome, right? Mm-hmm. So instead of having to pay a bunch of money to have listing videos made, you can make one yourself, and it's going to perform better because it has you in it. So
Is that a free app?
it is a free app. There is a paid version that allows you to add your branding. So if you'll notice at the beginning of that one, it had the Videolicious logo on the front, and at the end it has Videolicious info. If you pay for the upgraded version, it allows you to put in your own logo, your own branding at the beginning and end of the video. It's a little bit pricey, I feel like, for that. So it's just up to you how often you're going to use it. I'm going to give you some other practical uses for it as well, but it is so easy, and it also helps with the objection of I don't like myself on camera. So that way you can have your face at the beginning, but then the rest of the time can be your voice with listing photos over it. So it really makes beautiful videos quickly and easily. So listing videos are the most obvious use for Videolicious, I believe, but it's also great for business spotlights, which I highly recommend that you do. So if you're trying to get contacts with business owners To leverage referrals and relationships, go talk to a business owner. Take some video of their place of business, talk to them, and then put together a little business spotlight of that business owner. Post it on your social media, tag them, they're probably going to share it, and that will help you grow your audience organically. All of their followers who are active will probably see that post if they're tagged in it. And it can really help you build channel accounts with businesses in your area that can refer other business to you. So business spotlights are another great one. Agent spotlights are great too. This is more for a team, but if you have different team members or even vendor partners that you want to spotlight, this is a great way to do it as well. Neighborhood tours are awesome. So if you have an out-of-state buyer or somebody who's not familiar with the neighborhood, you can literally drive around, take a shot of the park, take a shot of downtown Gilbert, take a shot of some of the restaurants, and put together a really awesome looking video for them about downtown Gilbert or whatever area that they're interested in learning about. Much better than just sending them texts over the images via text, because that way you can explain the content as the pictures are going through. I love it. Client testimonials are great as well. So if you have clients after the closing that allow you to take a video of them, celebrating when you hand them the keys or whatever, try to make a video out of that as well. You can add in then pictures of their house, or maybe tell a little bit of their story and how you helped them through the home buying journey. Lead follow-up is another huge application for this. And this is one of my favorite things about Videolicious that I haven't mentioned yet, is it allows you to import a script for yourself. So while you're holding your phone and recording the video, the script will roll on the right-hand side for you. So you can have your lead follow-up scripts, you import them into Videolicious, and you can record video follow-ups using the scripts that you pre-prepared. And your eyes are looking directly in the camera, so you're not looking different. I know oftentimes that's hard if you're trying to read and video at the same time, but you're literally looking at the screen and the words are rolling right there for you. You can even adjust the speed in which they scroll for yourself to make sure that it's at the same speed at which you speak. So lead follow-up is a huge one. I started using this about 2 weeks post meetings with some people, and it has worked tremendously for lead follow-up for my business. So I would encourage you to use it for yours. Post listing appointment or buyer appointment follow-up. So the next morning after a listing appointment, do a little video thanking them for their time, reminding them why you are the best agent for the job, and send them a little video. They'll be really impressed. It'll look like you took a lot of time to put it together, and you can do it in about 3 minutes. Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow videos. So in preparation for a listing appointment or a buyer appointment, you can do it that way too. You can even put in photos of their house that you get off the internet. I'm looking forward to checking out your beautiful kitchen tomorrow. Put those in there, that you've really done research on their property and that you're prepared to showcase it in its best light. And client appreciation event videos are great, or any type of event. You can, all the photos that you've gathered from the event, you can put into a Videolicious video and talk over it again about how the event went and what the highlights were, and that you're so grateful that everyone came. So those are some great practical uses for the Videolicious app.
What is the charge for the branding? Do you have any? Do you know off the top of your head?
I don't.
Okay.
I've actually called them. They used to publish on the website and it's gone. So I tried to call them and I didn't get through to anyone. I want to say it was $59 a month last time I checked. So that's why I think you'd have to be doing quite a few of them for it to make sense. But again, you can record these videos and like a lead follow-up video and use it over and over and over again. It allows you to text it or email it right from the app. So it's very easy. But yeah, a little bit pricey on that side. But the branded one, I don't think anyone's going to care that it says Videolicious at the beginning, or for the free version, because it's going to be coming from your email or phone number. So they're going to know who it came from, where it came from. You can even put your signature in at the end of the email or text, obviously. So I think the unbranded one is just fine. I use the unbranded one and nobody has complained that I don't have my logo on there. So I think it's just fine to use that one. And lastly, we are going to talk about HomeBot, which Amanda Sue briefly mentioned. But this is, I'd say, my second favorite tool of the year after Reach. This came out last year. It was a Colorado-based company, and Arizona was the second market that they came to. It used to only be available to loan officers, but now it is available to agents as well. And what it is it is, in my opinion, the best tool out there for homeowners to understand their equity position in their home and what their options are with that equity. And I'm going to show you guys kind of a breakdown of that website and how you can use it to help build your database and provide value to your clients. So what it does is basically you send them your database that you want it to go to. Up to 500 contacts is $25 a month. They import it for you, so it's literally hands off as far as setup. It's very easy. And then once a month, it sends an automatic personal email from you to every client in your database with a personalized report on their home. And I'm going to break down, show you what the report looks like so you understand. But why I love it is because it visually shows them their options. It's color-coded, green or red. So it's very easy for people to understand. A lot of times when you look at reports on statistics or numbers, they can be very overwhelming for the normal person. So I feel like HomeBot has done an amazing job of visually explaining it in a very appealing way. The report includes the options that they have with their equity in their home. Talks about everything from cash out refis to putting on solar panels to paying off student loans. I mean, literally any option that you'd want. It also tells them what their house could rent for on Airbnb. That's a huge thing right now that we're getting a lot of questions about in our market. Phoenix was rated the #1 most profitable city for Airbnbs in the nation. So more and more people are getting interested in the Airbnb kind of movement. This one can help with that. It also talks to them about their move-up and investment property options. And I think this is what agents love the most because this is where it can turn into deals for you. So it shows the person, which I'll show you, what they could potentially afford if they were to sell their house and use their equity towards a new primary residence and move up, or if they were to take out their equity and purchase an investment property, how much they could potentially afford for an investment property. It also tells them how much they paid towards their mortgage in principal and in interest. It's a little scary. Nobody ever likes to see how much they pay in interest. It's pretty horrifying when you first look at it. But then it shows them if they pay $100 more a month towards their mortgage or $500 more, that they can pay off their loan 7 years earlier and they would save $40,000 in interest. So it shows them all these different options. And it also tells them if it'd be a smart financially thing for them to do right now to refinance. It'll tell them if they would literally save money over refinancing into a 15-year or 30-year loan. And that it color codes that as well. So I'll click on this and show you guys if it'll open. Hopefully, I might have to log in. Sorry, it logged me out. Sorry, this is Kelly's computer. I'm not used to the keyboard. All right. So, first thing I'm going to show you is actually I'll show you this. So what opens first is your dashboard. So this is my team's dashboard. In the past 30 days, we've sent 1,300 digests out to our most recent 1,500 closed clients. Is who we send every month. 1,124 opens. Look at that open rate. Almost 100%. I mean, that's pretty awesome. And of that, 829 click-throughs, which is crazy. That's the highest I've ever seen. So that means people are actually clicking through to open their digest, which shows us that they value the content. And then it shows you who's opening it. But real quick, and I'll send you the report, and then Kelly's cutting me off. Let's see here. So any of your clients, you can click on their name, see their info, and then you can preview the digest that they're going to receive every month. And this is what it looks like when it opens. So it'll always be branded with your information. It has it actually branded 7 times on the report. But right at the top, it says the estimated value of your home is, and it says not verified because it wants them to contact you to verify their value. But over here, it shows them what their current mortgages are on the property, and then what they have in equity in the property. All the blue prompts break it down for them if they have questions on what different sections mean, which is helpful. And then Color code, as I mentioned, what they paid towards their mortgage and principal and interest, if they'd saved to refinance. So wow, it looks like this client would save in every category to refinance, whether it's a 15-year, 25-year, or 30-year. It shows them that if they paid $200 more a month towards their mortgage, they'd save $47,000 off of the life of their loan. And this is a drop down, so they can select any value that they can afford or want to pay towards their house. And here's where realtors love, where it shows them if they wanted to buy an investment property, if they wanted to buy their dream home, what they could afford to qualify for just using that equity and paying the same, renting their home and buying another, or selling and pocketing the cash. It talks about what their options that they could do with their equity here. And lastly, at the bottom, it pulls the VRBO data. So it shows them, they could basically, there's a sliding scale based upon basic or fancy, how nice their house is, and then how many nights a month that they would rent it. And it shows them how much they could make per month or per year. And if they were to do that over the life of their loan, they would save $132,000 off of payments and save 19 years off their mortgage.
Can
Yes,
you
sir.
decide what categories you use? Would you send them?
No, you cannot customize the reports. So,
Except the value. I don't know if you know that on the realtor side.
no.
So, because some, like, especially for like luxury properties, like it's an AVM, right? It's,
Yes.
it's a computer coming up with it. It's not a Zestimate, it's from CoreLogic, but it's kind of the same. I find that it's within like 6%. I don't know what your experience
I was going
is.
to say 4. Yeah,
It's pretty close, but if it's off, you can go in and you can custom put in a value. So for that like really finicky seller, right, or like that somebody who like gives you crap about everything, like just go in and put in your own value and then it'll save it in there for them.
awesome. I didn't know that.
Is there a free version of that for less contacts?
There is not. No.
Uh,
Yes.
They have another option working with buyers. They recently added last month.
They did that. It does not integrate with MLS though. So all it does is show like zip code information basically, or neighborhoods. It shows average home values, but they can't actually look at any listings.
That's what vendors do. At least,
Yeah.
If I have a problem, can I add my relatives in California's properties?
Absolutely. The data is pulled from Black Knight, which has its national data. So you can literally put anybody you know in here, your whole Christmas card list, and then hopefully get referrals if they do decide to buy or sell. I can't get back. Do you know how to get back from
4 fingers, swipe to the side.
Oh, yes. Awesome.
Now,
Thank
probably
you.
you have to go the other direction maybe to get back to your PowerPoint.
Okay. Well, sorry, I'm not a Mac person. I don't know how to do this.
Command tab?
Command tab.
No, go
Well,
on.
that's okay. I'm done anyway. I just have one more slide. And I'm way over time for stuff, so I'm going to be done. But I have another slide of all the other apps that I love in tech that I use in my business that I recommend my agent partners to use. There's about 10 more, so I'll give you all those too. But I hope that was helpful, you guys. And I'm sorry I went over stuff. You can go over on the next one. Thank you, guys.
You need us to text you to get the information?
No, as long as you're signed in there, I'm going to send it to everyone who's signed in on that list. Name, address, and email address is all you need. Correct.
No, I think she did. I think so the first I got yeah, exactly. Well, social media if you have
All right. Love it. I need to sit in here and learn from you on that.
Can you put me in your system?
Okay, sure. Yeah.
I guess we have to have this all plugged in.
Hey guys! Is everyone still with us? It's been a long day of learning. Okay, so today we are going to talk Instagram. And I'm super excited to talk about this because I think it has a lot of alignment with some of the other things that we've learned throughout the Tech Summit today. So it'll be good. And if we haven't met yet, my name is Stephanie. I am a real estate agent here at my home group, going on my 5th year with my husband Bryce, who's over there in our office. And we love Instagram for real estate. When we got into the business, we kind of quit our 9-to-5s. Like, we did the whole quit your job, start a new thing, and we didn't have a lot of the things that you would want starting a new business in real estate. We didn't have any experience in the industry. Our backgrounds were in finance, so we knew really nothing about how this industry worked. We did not have a big network. We didn't have any special connections to really help us get our business going. And so back in 2014, 2015, the only thing that we could really figure out to do was go all in on social media to build a network from scratch. And today, Instagram itself accounts for a massive part of our business in terms of our referral network, staying in touch with our database, and organic leads that come to us. And Javier said something about YouTube earlier, you might remember, how these are people who trust you and value your time, and the kind of people that you don't have to chase after just bumping into at an open house. You know, and it changes the dynamic of being able to work with people who know you, like you, trust you, who you kind of can, in return, know, like, and trust as well. And so that's part of the power of social media. And if you haven't really, I want to kind of get a tab on who's here. Who is on social media, and specifically Instagram?
I have it, but I don't use it.
Okay, so who hasn't even tried? That's okay. So a lot of times social media strategies kind of feel like this. Like, there's so many different platforms, so many different places where you have to show up, and the problem with it all is you have to be really consistent on each platform to actually see results. There's no like quick fix to generating a lot of leads on social media that are actually going to be easy to convert. Sure, you can generate leads, but they may or may not have right phone numbers, right? They may or may not want to hear from you. So how do you go about a social media strategy that's actually going to be able to generate leads on demand who are going to be reliable, who will actually convert for you, right? It is the easiest way to connect with thousands of clients and soon-to-be clients at scale. And I think a lot of times people overlook how popular Instagram is. Not necessarily popular, but powerful. So the stats kind of speak for themselves. Instagram has over 1 billion monthly users, and 60% of those users log in every single day. It's the second most trafficked platform, second only to Facebook, right? Which is convenient since Facebook owns Instagram. Several times more engagement per follower than Facebook. Posts on Instagram receive several more times engagement, meaning Instagram's kind of a captive place to hang out. If you ever think about Facebook, there's a lot going on. There's like Messenger popping up, you have notifications coming on, you have ads on either side. Instagram is very captive. When you're looking at one post on Instagram, that's all you can see in your entire feed. And so that results in a highly more engaged audience per post, which is great, because if you're going to take the time to actually create content and put it on social media, you want to know that people are actually going to see it and read it, right? 80% of accounts on Instagram follow a business, which is huge. So that tells us not only is the audience on Instagram super engaged, they're willing to interact with other businesses. And so that's kind of counterintuitive. When you think about your own experience on social media, you see ads, or even in your inbox, you get ads and promotions in your email inbox, and it kind of rubs you the wrong way, right? Like, we don't want to be that salesy, spammy real estate agent business owner who's just throwing advertisements out to our audience. But Instagram's a little different, because it's created an environment where people are willing to see content from businesses, and they're willing to consume that educational, inspirational, motivational stuff if it makes sense to them. And I'll tell you a little bit how to do that. And by the way, Javier was talking about YouTube earlier. 95% of people on Instagram are also on YouTube. So 95% of the audience who's on Instagram is also consuming content from YouTube. And so if he inspired you to go out there and try out a YouTube channel, it's a really good idea to also double up on Instagram so that you can make sure that you're expanding your reach and showing up in the places where the audience is familiar with, okay? That's going to make you more trustworthy and more likable in the end anyway. And I really want to hone in on this, and I know this has been said a couple of times today. It's more than just another place to advertise. And I think that this is a general theme that we're finally starting to see take hold. So your content on social media is not necessarily just to advertise. We're not showing up there just to shout, buy, sell, open house. Like, it's not about the opportunities at first, okay? There are a lot of things that you can do. You can grow your local authority and influence on Instagram. And the great thing about Instagram that people don't necessarily realize is it's very geared towards geographical, like local audiences. And what I mean by that is here's an example. When I am traveling, we went to Denver last year to check out the city. Heard it was a cool place. The first thing I did was search through a couple of different functions that are available to us on Instagram to see what kind of content is out there that is based in Denver. I wanted to see the coolest breweries in Denver. I wanted to see the coolest shops. And with literally 3 clicks on my smartphone on Instagram, I was connected to local business owners in Denver 2 states away before I ever went. So if you are trying to really establish yourself as a local authority in your market, which we should be as real estate agents, right? Instagram is a really obvious place to do it. You can also build a very strong referral network. So earlier I said 60% of Instagram users are on the app multiple times a day, right? What a great place to stay top of mind. So if you're making the effort to connect with your database, connect with your sphere of influence on Instagram, connect with your out-of-town agent referral partners. If you have people in the Midwest or Chicago or California who you're hoping to get some referrals from, you better be showing up where they are probably, statistically speaking, logging in multiple times a day, right? That makes sense. And then you can deepen trust and connection at scale. So one of the most incredible parts of this device is being able to build relationships with people who've never met you. So when we set client consultations, when we meet with buyers and sellers who meet us through Instagram, it's really common for them to first say, oh my gosh, I feel like we're already friends. I feel like we already know you. I'm not sure. I think Javier said something similar. And it is the craziest thing because if you are posting your face and you're sharing your story and you're sharing the right content that people are willing to tune into every day, they start feeling like they know you because they are having positive interactions. But what's great about you is you put it up once and potentially thousands of people see it. So you're doing this at scale. You're connecting with a large audience, way more people than you could just if you were at an open house and relying on whatever foot traffic of the moment was. So I have a simple way to do this and break it down in a system that you can actually implement to start seeing results like this week. If you start doing this right away and you cover my 3 C's to grow your business with Instagram this year, you will start seeing results that literally will blow your mind. I've taught thousands of agents across the country on this, and it is really, really easy to do. So the first one is connect. Okay, social media. It's to be social, right? So we want to focus on connecting. And I want to take a quality over quantity approach to this because who is really concerned about numbers and stats and likes and followers? Who's ever felt like, you know what, without 10,000 followers, why even try, right? Anybody? No? Yes? Maybe? Me when I was in the early days of Instagram. Would you rather have 10,000 random followers or subscribers for that matter, or fans on Facebook, wherever you are, would you rather have 10,000 random followers across the country because you like the number? Or would you rather have 1,000 followers who will buy or sell locally in your favorite neighborhoods? It's kind of a no-brainer, right? So if we are focusing on creating the right content that's going to really nail the right people, it really takes some of the pressure off of feeling like you've got to hit a large scale on social media. We were closing deals with less than 600 followers on Instagram when we started. Like it's just crazy how effective it can be. Obviously we've grown a little bit since then because consistently over the years we've been growing our account, but very, very specifically. Now something to remember when creating content and connecting with people on Instagram is that Instagram will likely be the first impression of your business. And guys, this is true with most social media. Social media, when you're going in for the sell, when you're trying to market your listings, people who are seeing that are likely, that is the first impression they're ever having with your business. And what's true about real estate? It's built on relationships. That has always been true. It will always be true no matter how much tech tries to enter the industry. And so you have to start with connection. You have to start with building that know, like, and trust, which means you can't go immediately for the sale. And the trust and connection really starts at your bio. Because on Instagram, before somebody follows you, meaning they're going to basically sign up to receive all of your posts and stories and everything you're putting on Instagram, when they go to follow you, they see your bio. And your bio is basically, it has to be very, very clear in explaining who you are. And so if you just make some simple tweaks to your bio, you can very quickly make a huge adjustment in the way that you're showing up on Instagram. And just a few things off the top of my head. You get your username. So number one, if you are, your username, if it's at Stephanie AZ21, my home group, something crazy like that, that's already something that you can change. You really want to own your name. So your username should be your first and last name, if it can be. If you want to add some additional marker like geographical, Arizona, Scottsdale, Phoenix, whatever, or realtor, you can do that. But the username on Instagram is actually searchable. So at the very least, you need to own your brand. And so make sure that you have a username that's easy to remember, easy for people to search if they see, if they're referred to, the first thing they're going to do is Google you. So you have to show up, right? So that username has to be searchable, and hopefully it's your name. Okay, you've got to own it. Number two, you get a title on your bio. So here you can see the Lugos Real Estate. That should not be your name. That should be a little more general, because that is what Instagram is actually going to read as a tagline to suggest accounts for people searching for certain kind of content that they may search for. So Instagram is really like a search engine. And when I was visiting Denver, the first thing I was doing was Denver restaurants, Denver boutiques, that kind of stuff. This is going to show you exactly, this is going to be one of the first taglines that Instagram is going to filter for to suggest that account. So in order to be found by the right people, you want to have real estate in there, realtor, Phoenix. You want to have something that's going to be very general depending on who you want to find you. For us, we're leaning really hard into our branding as the Lugos. Most people know us as the Lugos. And so at this point, we can use the Lugos Real Estate. But if nobody's ever heard of you, if you're a brand new agent, you might want to, or if you haven't really done any branding on a wide scale, you're going to want to be a little more general there and be a little more geographical or industry oriented. Does that make sense? Sorry guys, I know I'm talking really fast because I want to make sure that I get everything in this short amount of time. And then connection continues through your stories, so through the actual content that you're sharing. And the context behind your content really matters. And there's two ways people go about this. One is right, one is wrong. Number one is posting like a business. Okay, so when you're posting like a business on Instagram, you're really advertising, you're kind of hiding behind your listings because you don't really know what else to share, right? You're selling, and you're focused on the product or service that you're providing. So you're either focused on the new listing that you have or the open house, or you're focused on trying to find buyers and sellers because that's what, for whatever reason, people think that they should do. Whereas when you post like a brand, you're sharing content that's more geared towards your ideal audience, right? Your ideal client. You're thinking leading with value. You're creating content that shares the story behind what it is you're posting, and you're focusing on relationships because, again, that's what real estate businesses are built on, relationships. And so you want to be able to create this content in a way that's going to grow your local audience, right? You're going to position yourself as the go-to authority in your market by sharing the right educational content, right? Inspiring, motivating. You're going to do a little more than just putting up your listings. And you're going to increase your brand awareness while remaining highly targeted on your primary market area. And so the content that you're creating should be a little more localized. So if you specialize in downtown Gilbert. You're going to be posting about some of the coolest shops, restaurants, things to do in downtown Gilbert. You're going to create yourself as the authority in that area. If you are in a specific niche, so a colleague of ours, his niche was baby boomers, whose parents were typically selling their homes and relocating to a different, either moving in with the kids or otherwise. He was sharing amazing content totally geared towards that individual, right? All content of like, this is what you need to know, these are the professionals you might need to be in touch with, lawyers, CPAs, whatever, and he completely geared his content around that niche, right? So you really want to make sure that you're still creating content that's very targeted and very relevant to not only the primary market area, but the people that you actually want to do business with. And then remember the jab, 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 right hook method. Okay, so on Instagram, you really want to give more than you take. And if you really want me to spell it out, like you're selling less than 25% of your feed. So every fourth post, you may then ask for, you can post your listing, you can ask for a client, whatever. You can do the ask every fourth post or so, but on Instagram, people, just like social media, people are not going onto social media to be sold to. And the quickest way to alienate your audience is by selling, 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 because that's not why they're there. They're there to be entertained, to be motivated, to inspired. And so you still are a business owner. You have the right to ask for that business, but do it after you've made a few deposits. Nobody talks about their database any other way. We talk about our database as like providing value and showing them that we care and nurturing those contacts. And then you ask for the sell, right? It's kind of the similar. Number 2, the second C is converse. So we want to actually start real conversations with people on Instagram. This is the networking portion. Okay, so first we want to extend an invitation to start conversations, right? You can set a call to engage on stories and post captions. So on stories, or if I'm posting to my feed, I tell my people what I expect them to do. So if somebody were to see my post, at the end, I'm almost always saying, hey, like this photo if, or leave a comment, suggest a person. I leave a call to action, basically, what I call engage, in the caption in order to invite them to start a conversation. Because a lot of times on social media, people get a little lazy and they just kind of scroll. So you really have to tell people and train your audience how you want them to interact with you. And then as you start receiving comments, you want to respond to the comments, and you want to do a little more than just leaving an emoji or saying thanks. I get into that trap too, where I just, on autopilot, do kind of a generic comment back to people, but you really want to try to start that conversation. And then you also want to leave comments on posts from others. So social media is all run on algorithms. Behind the platforms, there's an algorithm that is determining who sees what content. And the more that you put into it, the higher ranked your content is going to be. So leave comments, let me finish my thought really quick. Just leave comments as often as you can, because number 1, you're going to connect with people on a more real basis. And number 2, the social media algorithm gods are going to reward you for that.
When you said Instagram is a search engine, which line is Instagram searching?
Technically all of it.
The username and the profile?
The username and the name on the bio, and then anything in the bio is searchable as well.
Okay, so it's not if you have like the greatest bio.
You should pay attention to this. But basically it's going to determine based off of your username, which ours is Bryce and Stephanie, the tagline name here, which is the Lugo's Real Estate for Us, and then your bio. You're trying to accomplish a couple of things. You're trying to very clearly and concisely explain who you are, what you do, and who you serve. And then you're trying to use keywords, and these are all searchable. Just assume that anything from the top all the way down to here can be searchable and suggested to other users by the algorithm on Instagram.
And just another dumb quick question. What's the difference between a post and a story?
Good question. That's a great question. So a post is going to be down here in your feed. So if you go to add a photo or a video to Instagram, usually you're going to do a post, and that's going to stay on your feed forever. The other thing that you can do is create a story. And so if you see my profile picture here, there's a colorful ring around it. When I took that screenshot, that meant within the last 24 hours, I had posted a story. And a story is a photo or a video that is a very short time. So a video can only be up to 15 seconds. A photo can only be up to 10. It deletes after 24 hours. Okay? And fun fact, stories are way more viewed than posts in your feed.
Seriously?
Absolutely. So if you see on Facebook, I'll get you in a sec, Jim. If you see on Facebook, Facebook now has stories as well. Have you guys seen it at the top? Yeah, it's at the top. And people, like I said, are getting lazy on social media. The beautiful thing about stories is they just run automatically in a loop. And you don't even have to use your thumb. They just keep on going. Whereas if you're on a feed, you have to scroll up, right? And you have to do the very hard labor of scrolling, okay? And so what's happening is people are getting stuck in the stories. They're just right, conveniently placed right at the top of your app. If you open Instagram, you'll see it at the top of your feed, and you can just watch it. They have way higher engagement rates, just like Facebook does on stories, than posts in your feed. And so I say if you want to make sure that you're getting as much engagement as possible, you've got to show up. I add like 7 to 10 stories a day on Instagram. And it's the easiest thing ever because look, how do you do it?
So a post is like a picture and a story is like a short video?
A story can be a picture or a video, but I utilize that for video. So almost all the video content I do is going on the story. So like right now I'll do a story. Hey guys, we are trying out stories on Instagram at the Tech Summit at my home group. So, video, okay. I'm gonna do that, and then I'm going to post that later, because that'll be cute. And I will tag my home group. My home group's gonna be notified that I tagged them, and then they can share it.
So this is a story, not a post.
This is a story. They're way more shareable, they're way more engaging, and you can do a lot more with them.
And it automatically deletes in 24 hours.
And it deletes in 24 hours. Yeah.
What's a post then?
What's that?
Are all the stories on Instagram live? It looks like it's a camera, unlike Facebook.
Yeah, so you can record them in the app, or you can upload them like photos and videos later. Jim, I'm sorry, you had a question.
What if you don't have a ring around your photo?
It means you haven't posted. So that is like a notification to anybody who sees that. They're going to know that I have uploaded stories that they haven't seen yet.
Okay. I'm
YouTube
just trying to figure out how to do it.
YouTube it, or I have a lot of free training and resources. I want to make sure I get through the rest of this, but I could do an entire class on stories. And if that's something that you guys want, we can definitely arrange that with my home group too.
Oh, yeah.
It'd be a lot of fun. Stories are really cool. It's a little less pressure, you know, because it deletes in 24 hours. So we're conversing at this point, right? We're call to actions, we're leaving comments, asking for comments, and then we're living in the DMs, direct messages. Okay, so you can leave a comment on Instagram on a post, or you can send somebody a message privately to their inbox within Instagram. And so, number one, that's a really great place to start conversations because people are a little less hesitant to like give out a phone number on a public forum, right? So if you can start a conversation and get that information via like a private inbox, you're going to be much more successful at doing that than on the comments, right? So I love to start comments on my posts or my stories and then drive those into the DMs. Like, hey, I'll direct message you and we'll start a conversation there, right? And we're doing this with a couple of different groups of people. So we're starting conversations strategically with specific people. So number one, I love to connect with like-minded agents, local and out of state. So we get referrals from people in state, we get referrals from people out of state, and it's really great to stay connected with them on Instagram so that they can see that we're still busy doing business. We're having conversations with them so that we know we're professional, we know what we're doing, more likely to ask and receive for those referrals. We're also connecting and conversing with local business owners. So Liz mentioned doing collaborations with business owners, and that's one of our favorite ways to expand our reach on Instagram. And we love just sending a DM or commenting on some other business owner's feed who we feel like are in alignment, especially if they are in alignment with our ideal audience. Okay, so we like to tap into their networks and grow our authority by developing a relationship with them, having them share our stuff into their stories or posts like my home group does. If you guys ever tag my home group in your story, they almost always repost it. They're awesome. But you want to make sure that you are connecting and networking with these other business owners as well. And then, of course, your database and referral partners. So yesterday we had an awesome closing, and those clients are on Instagram. And so I'm putting up stories, pictures of them with their sold sign. So excited for them. They go and they take the same picture and they post it in their feed, and they tag us and they say, "Thank you so much to Bryce and Stephanie." And so not only do we want to stay in front of that person because they have just indicated to us that they're active on Instagram and their friends are too, we want to make sure that we are going to comment on them, comment on their posts, interact with their stories, and tag them in any educational content that we might have pertaining specifically to them, because they might share it to their feed as well. Okay? And then convert. None of this matters if you can't convert, right? We don't want to be popular, we want to be profitable. So the first order of converting is you've got to be posting for your ideal clients, and I alluded to this earlier. You have to be creating content that's actually going to matter with them. So for us, our ideal client right now is either a first-time home buyer or a second-time moving up. A lot of relo right now. People are finding us on Instagram and relocating. I guess that's not terribly impressive because everybody's relocating to Phoenix right now. But I'm thinking about the questions they're asking me. I'm thinking about what concerns them about the buying process or selling process. And I'm creating a lot of educational or inspirational content around those topics. And in that way, I'm leading with value, right? So I'm actually leaving deposits. I'm giving them something that they need. And I'm also sharing my story. So I do this a lot in the stories. I share a little more of the personal stuff. I share anything that isn't going to fit directly onto my feed that will last there forever. I'm sharing like the behind the scenes moments with me and Bryce of how we run our business. Or I'm sharing photos of my dogs, because everybody likes dogs, in my world anyway. I'm sharing my favorite restaurants, things that are a little more personal to me that people can actually relate to and connect with.
When you share somebody else's story, it deletes automatically also?
Yeah. Anything in the stories will delete after 24 hours. What's really cool too is you can set it up to automatically share to Facebook stories as well. But just remember if you set that, because if you have to delete something from your stories on Instagram, you also have to go find it on Facebook and delete it there. Couple growth tactics. I mentioned utilizing local collaborations. It is so awesome to be able to collaborate with another local business owner, especially if they have a similar, actually only if they have a similar audience to you. So I would never approach another local business who our clients wouldn't care about, right? You want to make sure that you're collaborating with local businesses and creating awesome content that we can both share to our audience in order to gain more exposure, more followers. You want to show up, so your face really has to be in your photos. And I know it gets easy to hide behind our listing photos and things like that, but if your face isn't in the last 9 posts on Instagram, like you may have just lost a client. And the reason for that is because I'm showing up on Instagram and other people are showing up. And there's so much competition on social media in general that's really difficult for consumers to tell you apart from other agents in the exact same area. One of the easiest ways to stand out is your face, right? So you want to make sure that you are the face of your business. Go all in on stories. We kind of talked about this. It is just blowing up on stories right now. So if you haven't spent a lot of time figuring that out, maybe send me a message or check out some of the resources that I have that covers this, because there's a wealth of opportunity there. And then planning content for consistency. So I like planning my content a week or a month at a time, depending on what we have going on. And I use a couple of apps like that. So Later is one that I'm experimenting with now, but I really like Planoly and Plan. And those basically will allow you to save your photos in one place, draft out your captions, and then post automatically to Instagram for you at the time when you set it to. So there's really quite a lot that you can do there in order to just make this a little easier, because if you can't systemize this and automate it, it's really difficult to stay consistent. And if we know anything about being successful on social media, it's that consistency is king, okay? Content is king, consistency is queen. implementing systems for better conversions. So in order to actually get somebody off the app, which is the goal, we don't want them staying on Instagram because that conversation can get lost in the shuffle very quick for them and for us. We need to be real estate agents and like work on lead generating and conversion. So we want to extend the offer. We want to extend something of value to them, right? This can be an invitation to an open house. This can be, oh hey, you commented that you loved this picture of the home. I happen to know it's actively listed. You want to go take a look? You can invite them to sign up on your newsletter, invite them to sign up for HomeBot. There's all kinds of ways that you can offer something of value in order to then get their contact information. We want their email and phone number. Email is the highest converting piece of contact information on the planet. That's it, end of story, forever. So we want that for sure. And then we want to direct them with confidence, right? We want to send them either to a lead capture with your CRM. So like for example, we have a home search site, like a lot of you probably do, where if they start searching, we're gonna have a lead capture pop up and say, hey, to continue looking, what's your contact information? Go ahead and register so that you can save these listings, right? You wanna make sure that you have something in place to make that lead capture very easy, and then have it directly send it to your CRM if possible, and then have a plan. So you've gotta have your follow-up plan. And we have a couple of different sequences that we use, whether we're trying to follow up with open house leads, whether we're trying to follow up with like internet leads. Same thing goes with social media. I need to know exactly what needs to happen in order to get that appointment, because it's all about getting the appointment. As soon as we get there face to face, it's game over. So that's kind of the goal there. So that's it, 3 C's. We're connecting with a couple of different groups of people between our database, referral partners, local audience, and business owners. We're starting conversations, and then we're getting them off the app as quickly as possible into a consultation so that we can set a timeline and move them to the closing table. And at the end of the day, you guys, like, I think one general message that we're hearing a lot is just be more social. Right? We're not using social media as a place just to advertise because that is blind noise. We want to be social, we want to create meaningful connections, and then get those people off of social media as quickly as we can so that we can have more control over that client experience, okay? And that's what I have for you. I think that's the fastest time I've ever done. Okay, so I think next we're going to do our Q&A panel. So we're going to wait for these ladies to come in. Hopefully that'll be good soon. But thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's really weird. I don't know what it is. Because it's like a
Like those wall things in the calling room.
Yeah, exactly.
They have a super class, and it's like that's all we sit on. Right? Fortunate, I guess.
And I'd be the one to throw my back up because I'm also
We're just going.
Go?
You guys moderate.
Alright.
We're moderating ourselves?
Yes.
Any questions?
So hi guys, we're all up here and we're just doing a Q&A for you guys. So any tech questions you have?
Do we want to do quick reintroductions and kind of what we
Specialize
focus on?
in?
Yeah.
Great idea.
Sure. My name is Javiers. I have a YouTube channel that has 10,000 subscribers, over 600,000 views, and all of my business, which this year I'll be closing 40, is 90% YouTube.
Awesome.
Liz Dysart with VIP Mortgage. I specialize in helping agents grow their business on the marketing side, but we also do a lot of loans too. But I've worked in the real estate marketing space for 8 years, and I also run the training program here called UX in my home group.
I'm Stephanie Lugo, realtor here at my home group for going on 5 years. And we love Instagram for business, among other social media platforms as well. And I've been lucky enough to teach thousands of agents across the country now about ways that they can use Instagram to grow their business as well.
I am Amanda Sue Briggs, VP of Technology and Education at Lawyers Title. Prior to my job at Lawyers, I led a luxury real estate team in North Scottsdale. We had 5 agents doing about $75 million a year. And my passion, focus, and all of that is systems. So I'm your CRM automation, marketing automation person.
Okay, so for the whole group, except for someone came in with Videolicious and just killed the whole thing. But as far as videos go, what is the biggest limiting factor as far as videos go in any of the platforms? Because obviously the pixels get involved, the timing gets involved, audio gets involved. What seems to be either the easiest way to get into it or the biggest limiting feature for all the different platforms?
So I can start with this one. Every platform right now is making it very clear to consumers that video is the way of the future, and so they all have embedded features to utilize video. So if you're just starting and you're trying to get comfortable with the cadence of speaking on video, you're trying to get comfortable with content ideas, I would say just start with the features that are built into the apps itself. There's a lot of the apps that kind of, I am so much smaller.
I was thinking about shrinking myself.
I couldn't hear from up there.
Oh, yeah.
That's like I see you. That's better. But
I'll stand up.
but just start experimenting with some of the features and find what really works for you, because there are ways that you can upload videos to these platforms, or there are ways that you can use the live functions on them. And that will tell you what you're a little more comfortable with. And it all comes down to what you are going to stay consistent with. So if you are one of those people that has to have a polished, pre-edited photo, then you're using the apps that Liz mentioned, and you're making sure to create something in advance. But if you're someone who just comes across very charismatically across the app, or across the video, and you can do stuff on the fly, then just lean on the live video ideas on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, just to get it out there, right?
Okay, well, the two things,
Okay.
and you touched on one of them, but one you brought up as far as cameras, and as far as, it seems like a lot of people are using their phones now that phones have gotten to that point.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, and that's a good point, something that you brought up, you touched on just by accident, and that is, I think too many people want to be too much of a perfectionist, which case maybe they should just more or less shoot from the hip for the first 10 or 15 or 400, versus trying to make it so professionally done that it comes across too dry. Is that kind of it?
Absolutely agreed, and actually there's evidence on, you would know better than I, but there's evidence on with the Facebook algorithm and Instagram algorithm that unprofessional videos that are more candid are actually show up in the newsfeed more often than professionally recorded videos. But I think going back to Stephanie's point, a lot of it depends on the location of where you're posting that video. I think a lot of people kind of get hooked up in the what camera do I use and what microphone do I use and what video editing software do I use. A lot of times just need your phone, turn on the camera, and just go. If you do a Facebook Live, if you're friends with other agents on Facebook, they're all going to think you're so cool and so brave to do it. They'll all be there cheering you on. And if you're not friends with a lot of other realtors, all of your friends and family know you and love you and think it's so cool that you're doing something different, and they're going to cheer you on. So literally you can sit there, stumble over all of your words, sound like a complete buffoon in your eyes, and everybody's going to be like, oh, you're so brave, that's so awesome, that's so cool, thanks so much for doing this. So literally you can completely screw it up. People will still think it's awesome.
Okay.
I also want to interject with that. Practice not on social media first. So I do a lot of video. I do not do a lot of video on social media. So I use video for lead follow-up, for contacting my sphere, for working with leads, meeting follow-up, happy birthday messages. I'll sing to you if I really love you on video and send it to you on your birthday. So I use video that way. which is a little bit, you know, on a more personal level, but for open house cultivation, for leads you meet at open houses, there's nothing better than a video text following that. So dip your toe in the water with video. I'd say not on social media first, and then once you're a little more comfortable with doing the personal videos, then go live or use the features right within the app, just as they said. Yeah.
I want to touch on that because you had the question about what's the thing that holds people back. I would say there's two things. One, you want to make sure to get your limited beliefs out. A lot of people record themselves with video and they go, I sound too nasal, all on this, on that. Most of the time it's just in your head. Get that out of the way. It's not important and you're probably not right. I'm not the best looking guy, but you kind of just get used to it and you just put it upload. And for YouTube, I would say you do want to practice as much time. So if you don't want to upload the video, that's fine, but you need to create a finished product. That way you get the practice, you start getting your style. Second thing too is creating a video with an intention, like with like a hidden meaning, like you want doing it to get more leads. You're doing it to sell the house. That'll never work. You want to create something that you like and you're passionate about. So if you're going to make a video talking about home buyers, throw in some personal things like, you know, if you're into hunting, you're into doing whatever hobby, have some things in the back. Talk about how this morning you want to go do this and that and this. People will like that rather than you just trying to sell something.
Sure.
Kind of like Stephanie mentioned it in her class. If you're selling something or if there's an intention to that video, that's not going to be as authentic if you're just there chatting and you happen to be chatting about a certain topic.
So are you consistent with those themes then?
Pardon?
Are you consistent with those themes? Like, you know, he's into vintage cars, I'm into hiking, so those two come together.
As you can tell in my shot, even if I'm not talking about it, people know what I'm about in my shot. They see the video game characters in the back, they see the nerd comic book things in the back. So even if I'm not talking about it, it's there. And it's there, right? And I do mention it, like, you know, when I saw Infinity War, I saw the course opening day, opening hour. I talked about it the day of, the day before, and I got like 10, 20 comments about it. So, and once again, you do risk alienating people. Like I did have that one person that told me, you know, if you want to be taken serious, get rid of the toys. That was 1 out of 1,000 comments, and I wouldn't want to work with that person anyways.
Yeah. Yep. You're attracting. That's the great thing about video.
I
Is it showcases who you are. You attract the people that are going to resonate well with you.
Yep.
Yeah. I have one on the technical side of things. Does anybody know of any software that you can take like a paper Excel sheet and convert it back into a live Excel sheet? Like if you have an old database that you no longer have on a computer, but it's printed out on a PDF.
Nothing that's automated. You can do it a little bit with text recognition, but it's not going to put it into Excel for you the way that you need it. Probably your best bet with that's going to go to Fiverr. Fiverr.com. You can find somebody overseas who will do it for you for super cheap.
Right.
Yeah.
And with the Lion Desk that you had mentioned, can you run automated drip email campaigns from there also?
Yes.
Up to how many contacts?
As many as you want. It's unlimited. Yeah. So on Lion Desk, your drip campaigns can consist of one type of messaging or any type of messaging that's available. So it can be a combination of task reminders for yourself, email messages, video emails, and video text, and regular text, and AI, all in one campaign.
Okay, so that would eliminate reach, right?
It could, yes, but they don't come from your phone number. Correct. Is the issue.
Okay.
So a lot of the CRMs, they have texting capabilities, but they come from a short code or a different local phone number.
Yeah. That's what's good about reach.
Yeah. So for me personally, like I don't want to manage another, you know, and a lot of them you can respond right from Lion Desk, I think, on the text message side. So if you're going to live and breathe in your CRM, that's great. But if you're not and want the text responses to come directly to you, Reach is perfect for that.
And I think I fall into one of the people that I'm not a social media person, so I just advertise real estate. I don't like to put my personal life on there, so I'm getting that that's probably the wrong use of it. But I also stay away from friending other realtors. Is that not the case? Should I be?
So I was like you for like 3 years, and then
I'm
finally
hearing you guys say share with my home group, and I'm thinking, well, I want to keep you off of my feed because I don't want you taking my business.
So we actually close a lot.
Do I not want to make friends with other realtors?
We close a lot of business off of our agent network. So like we have a listing that is in North Peoria, like gorgeous luxury home, and we had a pre-market offer within Facebook through our agent network. And
Okay.
so if you're looking at it that way, if you're using it the right way, it's a really great way to leverage other agents in the local market, as well as like look for other opportunities for your buyer. So
But you're also allowing those agents into your feed, right? So their content is being viewed by your
buyers and sellers already know 3 to 5
they're
other
gonna
agents.
see it
So,
anyway.
yeah.
So you should be
Yeah.
so you should be with your realtors also.
So
if you're comfortable.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's something, I think everybody's has that comfort level of how much they're comfortable sharing on social media, and there's no right way to do real estate, right? There's 1,000 different ways to do it. If you're like, Stephanie, I think you're so cool for using Instagram, and I love that you close deals off of it, but I'm not comfortable on Instagram, then don't freaking use Instagram. Use something else, right? So like for you, if you're really like, I don't feel like I want to or desire to get over that to share more personal, LinkedIn might be the better platform for you. So Facebook is essentially like the LinkedIn for real estate. For everybody else outside of real estate, LinkedIn is where they talk business. So that's what you're more comfortable sharing. You can get a lot of traction on LinkedIn, sharing more business related things, market stats, write-ups, videos explaining different processes of the buying process. All of that works great on LinkedIn.
Sure.
One thing to keep in mind though is I also agree you should friend other realtors in your network, especially at your office for coming soons and things like that. But you have to be careful what you like and comment on, because you're telling Facebook what content you care about. So this happened to me personally. All of a sudden, my entire feed was filled with houses, and I'm like, I don't care. I don't, I do care, obviously, but I want to see other people, my clients, my family, Sure. So I watched a webinar on basically how to redo your Facebook algorithm. So Facebook literally monitors how long you view, when you stop in your scroll, how many seconds you spend. So if you don't want your feed to be filled with other realtors' content, don't like it, don't comment it, and run right by it. Unless you're trying to copy them for marketing ideas or something, then maybe check it out. But really, Facebook monitors everything that you do. So if you are friends with a lot of other agents and you want your feed to be filled with more of your actual database of people that will do business with you, make sure that you're commenting on their posts.
My philosophy has been kind of keep my LinkedIn profile for sharing with other agents, more professional profile, and then the social media one's more for friends and family.
I flip what you're doing. Yeah. Use friend other realtors on Facebook if you're not super active on it right now, or you're not getting a ton of engagement. Friend some other realtors, get some engagement on your posts. Use that for open houses, new listings, all of that. On LinkedIn, speak more to the consumer.
Thank you.
Great question.
I have a question. So the only CRM that was mentioned was LionDesk. Any others that you recommend? I think Conversion you get leads from, but LionDesk you don't.
Well, you can get leads from Conversion if you spend a lot of time posting or if you purchase leads. So you're not gonna, there's no system that's just gonna hand you leads for free that I know of.
Yeah.
I wish there was. Conversion is built more of a front-end lead gen system versus a database management system, in my opinion.
Okay.
So if you're looking for more of a true database management system to keep in touch with friends, family members, past clients, people who could do business with you, you want a CRM that really offers a lot of drip content designed to nurture relationships rather than to cultivate leads.
Okay.
I would agree that a lot of it's kind of personal of what your business looks like. A lot of people confuse that issue with Conversion or Real Geeks or Boomtown or another ones that I hear where sometimes we refer to them as CRMs, but Liz is absolutely right. They're much more website lead gen systems first, CRM second. So when I'm working with a client trying to figure out what CRM is best for them, I normally start with, okay, where does your business come from? If you want to focus on online lead gens, then you need one of those online lead gen platforms. But if you're more referral, open house, traditional business, there's tons of CRMs that would work for you, either ones that are made specifically for real estate or not. Your biggest question is going to be, are you using it just for contact follow-up, or do you also want transaction management in it? Because that's going to change your options. Then the other biggest thing to look at in a CRM is you want one that you own and that you love that can integrate with everything else, even if you change your mind. So what I mean by that is, so Nadia for example, you've got LionDesk, right?
Yes.
If you decide tomorrow you want a Real Geeks website, you can do that, and it syncs with LionDesk. If she changes her mind, she doesn't like Real Geeks and she wants to use her free Agent Squared website, it works with LionDesk. So that's what I like. That's why I promote LionDesk, is because when you change your mind or your business shifts or changes or new tech comes out or new AI comes out, LionDesk is open. Not every CRM is like that. It's not the only one that's like that. But when you start getting into a Brivity or a I'm trying to think of, or a RealVolve or like some of those, they're not all open. And so that's the biggest thing that I look at, but a lot of it depends on your personal business. I'd look at Lion Desk, I'd look at Wise Agent, and I'd look at one other one that's kind of entry, Follow-Up Boss.
Yeah, Follow-Up Boss.
So I use Follow-Up Boss.
Yeah, and Follow-Up Boss is going to be a little higher price point,
yeah.
but.
Okay, what about one that has a website too? So
Real Geeks is your best for
Real
the cheapest
Geeks?
price. Yes.
$500 startup fee, then $100, $200 a month.
Or you can get Conversion or Boomtown through my home group for $50 a month.
That's the better way to go.
Yeah, so for my home group agents, yeah, it's the best pricing you're gonna get on a front end site is through my home group, through one of those options. And then, yeah, after that,
Are you guys
definitely.
big on landing pages?
So,
Do you use them?
so for me personally, I want, in an ideal world, and like with real estate, like not everyone talks to each other, so like you figure it out. But in an ideal world, all of your content that you're producing, you own on your own website, it's all in the same place. So I would much rather have my website where I can add my own landing pages whenever I need them for anything that I'm doing versus having to then take them off of my website and go to a different landing page on a different system. So something like Real Geeks, that gives you the ability to make landing pages, that like to me is like, yes, that's gold. That's what you want. I want to be able to make landing pages on my own website. If that's not an option for you, Instapage or Lead Pages work really, really well if you're doing any type of Facebook advertising, social media marketing.
What about Lion Desk? Can you create landing pages?
No, Lion Desk is just your back-end CRM. So
what were the two you just said? InstaFeed and
Instapage
oh, Instapage
and Lead Pages.
And the thought on that, landing pages is kind of an old school thing to me. I think your social media should be your landing page. Like for me, when people like me on YouTube, they'll research me, they land on my Instagram, and that's when they DM me. So I think instead of having landing pages, I think your social media should be advanced to the point where that should work as your, like, if they learn all about you, they learn what you're about. Right. I like this person, I'm gonna DM them.
Yeah, it's really hard to get people off of social media. It's really hard to get them off because they get so comfortable, and the other problem is external links are, the algorithms hate external links. Yeah. So if you're trying to send people from Facebook groups to a landing page or something of that nature, it's not going to show up as high, it's not going to perform as well as you'd want it to because they don't want people leaving the app.
So I'm hearing you really don't need a website or traditional.
You need a website, and in my opinion, and I hope you guys agree, I think you need a website. You've got to show up like a professional and you need to own your place on the web. However, it's how you're actually using it. I don't rely on my website for inquiries. I have much more front-end places to do that.
I completely agree with Stephanie. I feel like a lot of agents feel like they need this big fancy website with all this functionality, and I really don't think you do unless you're going to be marketing online and driving people to your website to get leads, which means you're paying money to do so, or you're spending a lot of time posting ads that do that. If you're not going to do either of those things, you really need a business card site, which is what Stephanie said, to validate you as an agent that looks pretty and that people can find you online if they want to. Placer offers free options for agents that are great. You can get enhanced features through Placer like an IDX if you want it. But Placer.
That's $1 with AAR membership.
Yes, exactly right.
Just pay $20 or $30 for Squarespace, but it's only like $30-$40. Invest in yourself. Squarespace.
Oh, Placer. And if yeah. We sure can.
And then you had mentioned you had a code for Lion Desk.
Yeah, lawyer's title, all caps, no spaces. So the hard part is you do a 30-day free trial first with no credit card. When it expires after 30 days, that's when you've got to remember that code. Okay. So yeah, when it asks you for a credit card after your free trial.
This for Lion Desk?
Lion Desk, yeah.
So
lawyer's title,
okay.
All caps, no spaces.
Okay.
Yeah,
all caps?
All caps, no spaces. Well, it might not matter, but. On that website comment also, I would say, I agree absolutely, like you need a website, you need a professional presence. I would say if I was going to make a definitive statement like you don't need X anymore, you might not need IDX on your website anymore. So,
yeah. Well, you can't really drive the website because you can't compete with Zillow and other places. Yeah. So it's like you said, it's more of a business card these days.
Yeah, and there definitely are teams here locally that are competing with Zillow, but you have to do it on a niche level. You can't do it on a Scottsdale Homes for Sale level. You have to do it on a Cinquedados Homes for Sale level.
Right.
So there are ways to compete with it, but as kind of we've been talking about, when you start talking about landing pages and online lead gen, it's money that you're paying.
And for the YouTube Pro, like how many subscribers did you have to get before it let you customize your channel name? So doesn't it create just a random?
Yeah, it's like 100.
Yeah, for me it was 100.
100 to change your bio. And a note on that too is I thought I was going to be starting getting deals from it once I hit like 1,000 or 5,000. I was trying to get deals at 300 or 500 subscribers. So you don't need to have a huge channel as well. So don't let that
Did you
discourage you.
customize your name after the 100?
Yeah, I made it. So my branding is just my name, Javier Vidania. Like my bio site or like just a business card site, that's just javiervidania.com. I'm actually going to get rid of my idea site. Like they said, it's just I think it's outdated to me. I'm not. No one's really going on that. And if they want homes, they come to me. So.
Did that affect how people found you once you started to get followers?
No, because my one thing I do in my every other day is I Google my name, and my bio site is always the first one there. I also have my bio site attached to every one of my videos, every one of my Facebook, social media, all that. So.
But with that, I will say that's unique because he does a ton of video. Most agents' websites will show up like on the second page or whatever when you search your name after Facebook, Zillow, your real estate company's website, everyone else. So I think a Facebook business page is important because those show up high on search rankings. And Instagram too, absolutely.
I think everybody should leave and Google themselves and just see what's showing up and what you might be able to improve.
Well, I have a question about that. So my name, nobody can spell it right. It drives me crazy. So my name is Barbara. They always want to put the extra A in there. And then I just went back to my maiden name, and they're never going to spell that right either. So what do I do? I mean, I want to use my name, but what do you recommend?
Do a nickname or something like that. So like all of my branding is the Amanda Sue. So I'm just using my first name because that's easier, and I just put the word "the" in front of it, right? So you can kind of do it that way. And if you have a common name, one thing that I wanted to mention because we're talking about Googling ourselves, if you have a common name and you're having trouble getting your stuff on the front page, the best website I've found to be like the #1 result on Google when you Google yourself is Reach 150. It's a review platform. That's all it's for, is for client testimonials and reviews. But within 3 months of setting up my Reach 150 site, when you Google my name, it's the top result.
Also, Reach 150 is amazing for that. It does cost money though, right?
It does, yeah.
But the other thing that I would recommend that all of you do is go out and create yourself as a Google business.
Yes.
And then what happens is, have you guys ever seen on the right side in the search results how it will show up large with your stars and your photos and your hours and your address and everything there? So that Google will promote your name as your business then if you have it registered as a Google business. And it takes a little bit of work. You have to apply to do it. They have to verify the phone number, so they have to call in. You have to enter in a code. Then they send you a postcard. So there is a couple steps to it, but it's free. And it basically, instead of the tiny little text, you'll have a big box on the right-hand side of Google when people search you with all of your information there and testimonials and everything. And it'll even pull in your other review sites as well, right on that right-hand side.
And to add to that, if your office is based out of the main office, you don't need a postcard. I did it like last week, and within a day it was already on there.
Oh,
I think if you do it with HomeSnap, they'll also import your listings and stuff like that.
Yeah. So the Google one, they'll like literally if you had an office, an existing office, then you can just add it and it automatically just add it.
Do you guys think you should have multiple pages, or would you just promote doing one page like one Facebook page, one Instagram page, or would you have multiple Instagram pages like you mentioned?
I think I don't have multiple pages. I have one where I post my gym selfies, but that's not business oriented. Yeah. I think you've got to show up everywhere, and I think that you need to choose where you're going to put as much time into like one or two.
But
so,
not like a personal profile and a business profile.
I don't like
that.
Just
I don't like
that
one
approach.
Profile that you're promoting. Okay.
Is that the same thing as Google Plus?
No.
Is that
that's
different,
they canceled that too.
Yeah, it's gone.
Okay.
So if we need to create a Google business, do we go on YouTube and ask YouTube how to create a Google business?
I mean, you can, but I think you could just go to Google Business and then log in with your account and start that way.
Okay.
One thing for the group to share too that I learned recently that I didn't know is that Yelp is now the searcher engine for iPhones or for Apple. Somebody told me that.
For Siri. For
Siri.
It's been that way for a while.
So I never knew that. I never used Yelp for anything.
So the one problem is though, when you ask Siri about like restaurants near me, she pulls Yelp, but when you ask Siri for real estate agents near me, she actually pulls Bing.
Oh,
so that is one thing that nobody talks about is the power of Bing. So Bing is like Microsoft's search engine, right? Like it's Microsoft's competitor to Google. Google is way cooler and way trendier and all of that, but Alexa uses Bing. So that is something Alexa and Siri, thank you, use Bing for their search results. So
I thought that was
too.
interesting, that's the reason I shared it.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
I know we had a couple. I just want to make sure that was
Yeah,
your
question.
question answered?
Yeah. that
Okay,
was
and then
Google.
this. Sorry, you've been waving for a
Yeah.
couple minutes back there.
About 20 minutes.
Okay, now
That
we
is
have our full attention.
Oh, is it my turn?
Yes.
Yeah.
Go
I
ahead.
know, I've been just kind of waiting because this is not really, it's not like tech, but I've never heard anybody address how do you handle perverts?
Block them.
Yeah.
I get tons of them all the time. I hate it.
So the minute somebody says something awful,
Me too. Dude, we're on the same page.
This is Dad Bod, man.
The minute you see something, you
Like,
just
what's
block
going on?
it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't engage ever. That's like the worst
But
thing
don't
you can
ignore
do.
it either, just block
And
it.
if you block it, they don't see you ever again. Nor do
Yeah,
you see
they
them ever
can't
again.
search you unless they create a new profile with a different name and then block them again.
If they get your phone number, you can block their phone number also. One thing just while we're on that topic, guys, think about what you're advertising. I don't know why real estate agents and attorneys think that their face needs to be on everything, but I've seen signs where like literally on the sign it's a full body portrait. There's no reason for that. Like look at what you're, right? We want to showcase who we are so we attract the people that we want, but when you're a woman, sorry man, you get an easy pass on this, like we've got to be conscious of what message we're putting out
Thank
there.
you for saying that.
And also, if you're not gonna post, when you post like bikini pictures at the beach, just share those with your friend list, not people that you don't know. Like, so learn how to post to different lists of people versus your entire following. Because I agree with you 100%. There's a lot of agents out there that put some very like provocative images online, and then I mean if you're doing an open house, what is somebody gonna think of you if you're putting yourself out there in that fashion, you know?
What do they expect?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll push it even a little farther. For the young mothers with the young kids who like to show them getting out of the bathtub and everything, that goes international in about 5 minutes.
Yep.
So,
Not good.
and it doesn't make any difference if it's personal and it's directed to you. If you send it on the internet, it's open.
Yeah, we really.
There's nothing that you can keep that off.
Yeah.
Just try not to post privates in general.
Yeah.
That was one of my subjects to talk about. Because you said you have your cartoons and I love it. My kids have those all over their rooms. But me myself, I have my kids' pictures, my dog, my cat picture. It's like so personal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've actually done vlogs with my family, and we actually documented. We purchased our dream home in Old Litchfield Park. For those who aren't familiar, it's like a block of older homes. We were able to do that, and I documented each process of that, and I got good views. But the very last one, we were going to do a walkthrough of the home we bought, but my wife was like, hold on, because people were commenting, oh, Sadie's so cute, oh, I love Nolan. It's just the risk you take, but you have the ability to not, because after that video, I stopped, and I don't really show them that often.
Yeah.
I'll mention them, because the real fans know my family, and when they come meet me in my office, they call my kids by name, they know how I am, they're like, hey, how was that appointment last week? They know all about me, and I'm just like, who are you? So I kind of like that, but I just don't put my kids at risk. So I stopped posting pictures of my house, I stopped putting my kids up there, because I'd rather be defensive than something happen to
we
them.
just bought a house and I'm so happy with my new home, but I haven't posted anything about it because like this is my kids, my home, my private life.
Yeah, you don't have to.
And like no.
But you can post a picture of you in front of a yard and just say I'm so happy about my new house, but you don't have to show the house.
I would say the backyard or the kitchen or a feature you love in the house,
The
but not
Kardashians,
the front of the house,
the
so that somebody
Kardashians
can drive
in
by.
their show, they don't show their actual house, they just show a random house. Did you know that?
Yeah, in the kitchen.
And that's not, I don't know, it's so embarrassing I watch this, but when they show like, hey, Chloe's house, my wife watches them all. When they show Chloe's house, they'll show a video of that, and it's not her house, it's just a random house.
I think everybody's got that comfort level of what they're comfortable sharing on social media. Unfortunately, for better or worse, social media has kind of been the more private you share, the better the algorithm performs for you. That's unfortunate, and that kind of stinks. But I think everybody has to choose that. So me personally, I'm a tech person, I'm a social media person. My Instagram's private.
Mine too.
Because that's how I use Instagram. Because I wanted something where it was just for people that I really knew. You're still a human. If you want to use social media not for business, then girl, go for it. If that's not your thing, you don't want to open up that much, that's fine. Open up using Videolicious with personal videos to people that you do know. Just don't post them online. Yeah, so don't feel like just because these guys make a ton of money doing social media, if it's not a good fit for you, find something that works. That's why we're all up here, so you have different options. Yeah.
asking for testimonials. Best way or ways.
Not the day of closing.
Yeah. I would say you need to set it up through the entire process. So your scripting, you know, at your buyer consult or your listing appointment needs to set it up for that you're going to ask for testimonials down the road, I feel like. And, you know, throughout the process, you check in to make sure you're providing a great customer service experience. That sets them up that you're going to probably ask them for a testimonial. So I feel like it needs to be a gradual process. You can't just like hit them with, hey, will you give me a review? You know, but there's a graceful way to do it, I feel like, as well. I have some scripts for it, and I don't know what your guys' feedback is.
Yeah, we have it on a drip with we have a closed client campaign, and it's a drip emails, and we tell them to expect it, usually on closing day, like, hey, you guys, good luck with the move-in, this isn't goodbye, we're still here for you if you guys need anything during the transition, and by the way, keep an eye out, we're going to send you a really important email. A couple days later, email goes out, and we put links to all of our review pages, and we kind of guide them on what we want. So we give them some prompts, like what did you love about working with us? What would you tell your friend? Why would you refer us to a friend? And then we put the links right there and say just copy and paste it to all of our profiles. So like Yelp, Facebook, Zillow, redfinrealtor.com, whatever.
Okay, good software we can use, any templates to...
Just draft an email.
Okay.
Imagine yourself asking them, draft the email, template that.
This is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Okay.
There is an app called or website called Real Satisfied. It's like $79 a year. It's super cheap. But what I like about them is I really like how Stephanie gives them prompts. That's what Real Satisfied does too. So it actually has them take a survey first. So the survey is asking like how rate the agent on a scale of 1 to 5 of how great they did of communicating the process to you, of doing this, of doing that. So it kind of like gets their brain going. What I also like about it is it will auto post it on Facebook and Realtor.com for you. So because you have so many review sites, like sometimes they don't always copy and paste, like they just do the first one and then stop. With Real Satisfied, it can auto post to both, gives them an easy link to post it to Yelp and Zillow, and then if you have Reach 150, you can copy and paste it yourself. They don't even have to do it. So.
Google also is another great place to get reviews, because then anybody with an email address, instead of having to verify that they worked with you like some of the sites do, they can post a review on your Google business page, and then obviously that shows up very well in search ratings too.
One of the best scripts that I found for that, I think I stole it from Jason Abrams, I don't really remember who it came from. But what they said was literally in your buyer consult listing presentation, you say, my team or me, my goal is always to provide a 5-star experience. How I know that I provided a 5-star experience is that you leave me a 5-star review and you refer me to one friend or family member within the next 12 months after closing. If you're not able to do that, that means I didn't hold up my end of the bargain. Here's what I'm going to do to hold up my end of the bargain, and kind of like lay out the expectations, and then you constantly remind them, like, don't forget at the end, I'm going to be asking you, did I do a 5-star job? So you're planting that seed not only for the review, but for the referral at the very beginning of the transaction.
I love that.
And setting expectations.
Question over there? You had a question?
Yeah, Liz, you had mentioned something about emails and Facebook accounts, and maybe I misunderstood. Is it profiles that you're referring to, or business pages, or because it used to be Facebook would only allow one profile per person for their community standards. Has that changed? Because I'm shut down.
So I personally have 2 profiles. And I have a business page.
But Facebook shut me down for ads because I'm violating their community standards by having more than one profile.
So
I can't do any ads.
Yeah, there's a lot. Facebook has had a lot of weird stuff happening with what they allow and don't allow in regards to the business pages and ads specifically, and a lot of it has to do with fair housing and discrimination and this and that and the other. So it could have been simply something like the title of your business page.
No, it's because I have 2 profiles.
When you created the ad, that's what it said. That's the error message it gave you.
It was, I didn't even try. This wasn't about me doing ads.
Gotcha.
I got a violation message from Facebook that I had to choose between
which one?
One of my profiles. I had to shut one down, or they were going to do it for me.
There are 2
and
personal or 2 business?
Because of that, they stopped me from doing any type of ads on Facebook. That was the punishment.
Well, you can't do ads with the personal page anyway.
Right, no, but you have to have
a personal page type
that runs as an ad.
I've never heard of it either.
Was that recent? Did that happen recently?
Thank you guys.
I've heard of that. You can't have 2 profiles.
Yeah,
I have 2.
Well, you can make
No,
it,
but
but you're not
are they-
supposed to have.
Yeah.
Two personal profiles?
I do.
Same name?
Yeah, absolutely. So
hopefully you don't
but
get
they're
caught.
both over 8 years old. One's like 15 years old and one's 8 years old. So maybe that's the difference. They're both
Why-
like verified.
What's the meaning behind having two profiles?
It was unintentional. It was I created one to be a business
Yes,
page.
yeah.
Ultimately, like I had all my high school and college friends on my original one, and I wanted to create a business one. Thank you.
Thank you.
But I wouldn't recommend it. I think you should only have one personal page, one business page would be what I would recommend. Mine literally was by accident that it did it that way. It was before they actually had Facebook business pages.
Yeah.
I created a personal page to use for business, basically. Yes.
Do you have to,
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
So maybe we can all try out this one, but with Facebook business pages, because of the algorithm, Facebook, the only way Facebook makes money is by selling ads. So Facebook begs you guys for your business page posts to show up in the newsfeed because they want you to have to pay for that. So unless you're getting a ton of natural engagement, business pages don't really have to start getting purpose anymore besides running ads. If you're planning to spend some money, get one, don't even have to post on it. Just put a profile photo, a cover photo, done. And then you can run ads from it. Posting on it, not necessary anymore, my opinion.
That's exactly it. The only two reasons to have a business page are posting ads and then a digital business card for free. Basically, when people Google you, that'll show up.
So if you post, see, I know nothing about this stuff, I'm really kind of struggling with this. If you do run an ad, it'll show up on people's private page or personal pages?
In like their feeds when they're scrolling. And not necessarily just the people who like your business page, it's anybody that you choose through your targeting, whether you know them or not.
See, that's what I kind of what I used to understand is like you could target, let's say, a zip code that you wanted your ad to show up on.
Yes, you can do that.
Can you still do that?
Yes. Yes. So have you gotten blocked already?
We've seen constraints on a lot of our.
Okay.
On a lot of our.
Didn't we talk about that?
I've abandoned Facebook. I'm not doing it anymore.
So there's a lawsuit last year between the ACLU and Facebook, and so what they did was they had a civil liberties union tester go to run a Facebook ad, and they were able to advertise an apartment for sale in New York that specifically excluded disabled people. And so there was a whole lawsuit that happened. The outcome of that in February was that Facebook said for real estate specifically, for housing specifically, you're not going to be able to do anything less than a 15-mile radius. You can't target by zip code, and you can't exclude people, and you can't do custom audiences.
So really, there's no point.
No
So two things with that. I've been running a ton of Facebook ads since that announcement came out. I have yet to find a client who's been blocked. So yours, it seems like you run quite a bit more. Maybe you've gotten some limits. I've seen them start to roll out, but so far I can still do 1 mile radiuses. I can still do zip codes on most of the accounts. So if you're starting to run ads, you can probably do it for a little bit. The trick is do a video views ad to whatever tiny little target you want to do. Because what Facebook does is going to save everybody who watched at least 3 seconds of that video. Then when your zip code targeting and all that targeting goes away, you still have that target that you can target whenever you want. So that would be what I would be doing if you want to run Facebook ads to a 1 mile radius or to a zip code. Run them now, video views. Highest budget you can manage. Any video, doesn't matter, just run them. And then you'll still be able to target even when those things go away.
I just want to add to that. This is why you guys remember that these platforms are rented space. We are totally subject to the changing winds of policy changes and algorithms.
Right.
Don't I do not put all my eggs in one basket. So if you're hoping to get a lot of business from that, remember that there are things that can affect that, right? And so just remember, this is why it's so important to have an actual brand on social media that crosses multiple different platforms. Because if something were to go down on Instagram to where I couldn't market myself, or if my profile got deleted overnight, or if they got hacked and the entire app got shut down, I cannot rely on that to be my business, right? I also take that branding and the lessons that I've learned on Instagram and I apply them to Facebook. I apply them to the other places where I know my audience shows up, right? So remember, this is totally rented space, and you have to be approaching this like a brand that's going to transcend just posting on Facebook. Right. So if you're going to do it, just do it right from the get-go and have an actual strategy behind it, because it scares the daylights out of me. It really does, because we have no control over it.
Yeah. And along that same line of that's rented space, make sure you own it. Get contact info. Don't rely on, we always DM on Instagram.
That's why I always say,
contact
immediately
info.
get them off of the app as quickly as you can. Like, I have my lead capture set up, they go to my email list, and they go into my CRM.
Yeah,
like,
then you do what you want.
Yeah,
right?
you have to control the client
Your
experience.
Yeah, Instagram can go away, email's still gonna exist.
Yeah.
Texting's still gonna exist.
Is there like a marketing liaison? Because like we have all of these different resources and tools that like we would just call them and then they could like get it set up for us. You know, so that you can focus on getting in front of the person rather than, you know, instead of like, oh my God, like I knew I got to get all of this stuff and then like there may be someone that's like just really, you know, more experienced to know, okay, I'm thinking about this, to just put it all together for you.
So in terms of just simply getting everything set up and running, there are marketing agencies that can do that for you. However, they're going to expect a larger package. And what I mean by that is they're going to want to manage it for you. So they'll say, okay, yeah, we'll get you up and running, but then we're going to manage it for you. And that is a little expensive. And I think honestly with the right systems in place and the right time blocking, like I probably spend less than an hour a week intentionally using business like for Instagram and Facebook. And that's because I plan out all my content at the top of the week, and then I post it when I know I have 10 minutes to, you know, really intentionally engage with people around the time that I post.
Right. There are I know I refer several different local people to manage agent social media, but it's like $500 a month is generally what it costs to do unique content for you.
Some people
and audience engagement
on top of the other whatever program you're going to pay. On top of that, then it's their service of $500 a month.
Are you talking getting like social media set up or more like CRM?
Well, pretty much the presentation for today. So like I already have Lion's Desk, but to like upload, like I have probably about 300 leads that I need to like, you know, to get all of that set up. I mean, I guess is it beneficial for me to just go through it? At least I know when I'm getting in there and everything, or could you just hire someone and then?
I would time block an hour a week for the next month, and I would say, okay, today I'm going to handle Facebook, and I would do that, and at that same time I'd be sending messages to people that I'm friending on Facebook or whatever, saying, hey, glad to connect here. On Instagram, I'd be following your database, looking them up on Instagram, sending them a DM, hey, so glad to connect here, right? Use that as a time for prospecting while you're setting it up, and just give yourself a goal of finishing it after a month.
Going back to what you said about how you can pay like $500 a month for people to manage, I've been approached by those folks and they're like, I'm going to optimize it for you, I'm going to respond to anybody that makes a comment, I'm going to do all these great things.